actually not on the committee. I'm sorry.
Mark
Strike.
Bernard, Village Water Precinct.
Laura Stevens.
Olivia Welcherdal.
Joe Alexander.
Israel Carey.
Okay, now we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so first up is public comment. Joe's going to put on another hat and speak to us as a member of the public.
Oh, boy.
Okay, well, thank you
Please
for
state your
having me,
name
Budget Committee.
and
My
your
name is
address.
Joe Alexander, 3 Oakwood Lane. I am here as your state representative, not as a member of the Budget Committee. I just wanted to come and recognize a department in our town who applied for a state grant and was awarded a state grant for the windows. I know last year we had a really tough budget year in which we had to make some tough cuts, and one of those cuts was the windows for the library. We cut it, and we implied that they should apply for this LCHIP grant in order to get it awarded. So I just wanted to come and recognize the library. I know they tried really hard to do it. It's a highly competitive grant. Not everybody that applied for this grant got awarded it. So on behalf of the state rep delegation and the senator, I just want to award them with a ceremonial check to thank them and congratulate them. So here you are.
Okay, great. I'm sure we all share that sentiment. Samantha and I were on that committee, and they worked, it was a lot of work, a lot of site visits, not for us necessarily, but for them, it was a lot of work. So we are very appreciative. Okay, so we are going to start tonight. We're going to do the 2 water precincts and the sewer, and then we will move back to the town budget. So why don't you go ahead and start, Mark? Lee, you're not actually supposed to be sitting on this table, I'm sorry. You can move around there.
Yeah, no problem.
And then, Mark, why don't
You want me to go over there?
Sure, it's up to you. You're a member of the committee, so, but just walk us through the budget.
Okay, so this year we did kind of a budget overview, which gives you changes in the budget from the previous year, 2025. Just kind of a heads up and highlights the larger changes to the budget. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Why don't you give us a second to review here? Everybody's got the overview, right, and then the actual budget.
Yep.
So. So can I ask, when was the last time your rates went up?
20, they went up in 2025, and they're going up again in 2026.
How much?
20%.
20%?
20% each year, correct, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, just to clarify for the public, the water precincts, the funds for the water precinct is not tax, it's not through appropriation, it's not taxes, it's from user fees, just so people know that. And I will, I'm not going to recuse myself, but I'm going to admit up front, I am a water precinct user, so I have a little bit of skin in this game. 20% is an awful big increase from year to year. Can you talk about that a little bit?
It went up 20% last year, 20% this year. We are doing a well upgrade project. We have 2 existing wells that were put in probably the 1940s, 1950s. They need upgrades. And we're adding a 3rd well as well. Right now, we're exceeding the amount we're supposed to pump per hour in the summertime. Each well can produce 350 gallons per minute. In the wintertime, we pump 280 gallons per minute. In the summertime, it climbs over 400 gallons a minute. So we're kind of regulated by the New Hampshire DES that we're not supposed to exceed 350 gallons per minute. Because one pump runs, one pump is a standby, a backup pump. So we've been working with the state DES over the last couple of years. They've definitely been helping us out a lot with this project, and also finding us funding as well towards the cost of the construction.
So is there grant funding or state funding?
Yeah, so totally right now, we have almost $1.5 million in grants from New Hampshire DES that's going towards that project.
What's the total cost of the project?
We don't know yet. We're not really going to know until probably February. It all depends how much we have to treat. If we don't have to treat much, the cost is going to be, we don't have a cost yet, but it's going to be less. If we have to treat for manganese and iron, the cost is going to be much more.
Okay.
But we don't know which way, what direction we're going yet. We're not going to know until February.
Do you have a range?
Approximately $7 million.
Okay.
So we also have $7 million in loans from the state if we need it, with 10% forgiveness and low interest on top of that, so.
Okay. Are you guys eligible for impact fees? Does this have anything to do with increased development? Derek's shaking me off back there, so I take that the answer is no.
No, we really don't have much to do with the impact fees. When a new development comes online, we do charge an entrance fee for them to collect some money that way. Most of this is, the community itself has expanded as far as usage. People are using more lawn watering, they're bettering their yards and things like that, which is showing a big impact in the summertime on us.
Okay, so fixing one well and adding another new well is going to solve this problem. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. We have two existing wells. They pump probably 350 gallons per minute. We're hoping a third well can pump up to 500 gallons a minute, so.
Okay. So how many years do you anticipate a 20% increase in rates?
It was this year, and next year is 2026 is the last year, there's 20% increase, so.
Right, but do you anticipate, I mean, if you've worked with DES, do you have a plan? Are we talking 20% in the future?
No.
No, what we're trying to do is we've got a program that shows us where our rates should be in the future, and what we're trying to do is build them up that way at a slow pace, and then build up some income so that we can pay down some of the bonds when they come due.
Okay,
So, when you have your when the higher interests are due on the bonds, we'll have some money to back that, so we won't have to raise our rates as much and go in the red.
okay.
I think generally we raise our rates 2.5% like every 2 years,
Yeah.
in that range, 2 to 3 years. So.
Okay. Peter?
Mark, am I remembering correctly that we had a conversation last year about how we potentially missed, like, we had potentially had some years where we really weren't increasing those rates at a steady pace and catching up? And is this, to some degree, also just catch up, the 20% and 20%, in the sense that, like, these are costs that we probably would have wanted to potentially have had higher rates in the past and, like, been putting money aside and waiting for this?
I think the increase is really due to the well upgrades project.
Yeah. So specifically, we're talking about, we came up with the 20% last year, 20% this year.
Mm-hmm.
That should catch us up to really pay for this large capital investment.
Correct.
And then after that,
Yep.
are we anticipating 2.5% every couple of years? What are we
Yeah, I mean,
anticipating?
that's where we were in the past, you
Yep.
know, so, yep.
Do you guys think that was enough, though? Is it potentially that was just too low? 2.5% every 2 years sounds like it's pretty low for inflation. Sorry, keep on asking questions.
No, I
It
had
seemed
the
to
same
match what
question.
we needed at the time and for the work we were currently doing. It's just now we need to build up some more so we're not impacting the customers as much in the future. And our rates are still very low in the state, even with this 40% increase over 2 years. Our rates are still significantly on the lower side.
Do you mind if I ask a follow-up to that?
Go ahead.
Do you have any context to that, like how much lower we are approximately?
I don't, there's a,
It's on the DES
the
website.
DES has a website with a rate calculator,
Yeah. Thank you.
but our average rate, our minimum rate is gonna be about $115 a quarter. And, you know, that's not, I don't wanna say it's not a ton of money, but it's on the lower side of people's bills. You know, it's not, if you water your lawn and stuff like that, that's where you're gonna get impacted with higher water bills.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? So just to make sure everybody understands the just a second, Joe. Just so everybody understands the process. So this does not go to the voters. Once we approve it, it is approved, and they can go back and get to work on it. So just so people are aware of that. Did you have a question or a motion?
Yeah, I see you added back a commissioner's stipend. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Board of Commissioners decided to add back into stipends. It's been part of the precinct for many, many decades, and I guess that was the feeling to add back into stipends.
And how much was that?
It's $1,500. There's 5 commissioners, $1,500 apiece.
All right, then I'll make a motion. I
Yeah.
move that we cut them.
I second it.
And
we
my
ask you to
reasonings are,
speak to it?
I know, I'm like, oh wait, I have to prompt myself. Yeah, my reasoning is the same as everything else. I mean, there's twofold here. You've got really big increases a couple years in a row. And secondly, this is the same principle that we've used for every other practically town and school elected official. And your service is your service, in my opinion. Joe, do you want to speak to your second?
No.
Is there discussion? Laura?
I agree, I'm just wondering what line we're looking at, or is there not?
That would be very helpful, wouldn't it?
I think that's in the executive, right?
Executive?
4130.
Okay.
So it says salaries, but our intent is to cut the stipends. We're not talking about cutting anybody, an
Yep.
employee's salary. We are not. That is not what the motion is. Okay. Is there further discussion?
I mean, I want to be reminded what these commissioners are doing on a regular basis. And what's the rationale behind the stipend and what are they doing on a regular basis?
So we meet once a month, every Tuesday night, second Tuesday night of the month. The commissioner basically works with the office almost weekly, maybe an hour a week, hour and a half a week. Other than that, the other commissioners, they meet once a month for the year. So.
I should run for sewer commissioner.
That's not the sewer department, it's the water.
Oh, go ahead. Pay $1,500.
Wait, you got some votes for sewer, didn't you?
Oh, all right.
Whoa.
Back to
I'm
Rick's
just
corner.
saying, you said it.
All right. Is there any further discussion on this motion? Doug?
Yeah, I'm sorry, how many commissioners are there?
There's 5.
So it's 5 times 1,500 we're talking about?
So that's 7,500.
7,500.
Yeah, reduction of 7,500. Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Well, we need roll call.
We don't, because we don't have
Peter's
anybody on their
here.
phone.
But we need to know who votes the minority, right?
Well, yeah, but you got to start with who votes yay
Oh,
and who
okay.
votes nay
Sorry.
before we get to the minority. All right, so all those who in favor of the motion, raise your hand. I couldn't tell,
Spencer's
Richard,
good.
is that a, no, that was, okay, so that was everybody but Richard. All those opposed?
You have to say it.
And abstain, okay. Mark, you get to vote, by the way.
Yeah, I'll abstain, so.
Okay. So 2 abstentions.
So 10 yeses.
Yeah, and 10 yeses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 11. Did you vote?
Oh, yeah, what about Jared?
Jared,
Right.
did you
Yes, I
abstain?
did. No, I did not.
Go my counts off then. 1, 2, 3, 4,
we should have
5,
13.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You voted yes.
Okay.
That's 11. So it's 11 to 2. 11-0-2. Okay. Any other changes?
I have a
Motions,
question.
questions? Go ahead.
The 5% increase is, are you trying to be consistent with with like town employees or something? I guess I'm wondering what the reason for a 5% increase is.
That would be just wages? Yeah. I guess wages and the taxes and also, we were looking at probably a second full-time employee, so. Right now, Linda's our only full-time employee. Part-time employee. Yeah.
So, if I can follow up, so
Yeah,
you have
follow up.
so you have one full-time, but you're
Yeah.
budgeting for two? Does that mean there's a vacancy?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay, so there's one full-time and two part-time employees.
So we have two full-time employees, we have Lee and we have Mike, and then we have Linda, who's a part-time employee. And then we have budget money for a second part-time employee.
So the vacancy is the part-time employee?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. So the 5% increase is to cover the vacant position, or is this a 5% pay increase for the four employees?
It includes the part-time employee and the wages for the full-time employees and Linda, who's a part-time employee.
Okay, so what's the percentage of increase that the employees are getting? Not how much did the line go up, but what's the actual?
It's not, I'm not ready to discuss that.
Yeah, I would have to talk to Linda about that and get you the actual increase,
Okay,
percentage-wise, so. I don't have that answer for you, so.
okay. It's gotta be less than 5% though. If the line went up 5% and you've got a new position in it, then their increases have to be less than 5%.
I don't think, I mean, the notes only specifically say that the salaries went up 5%. Right? It is justified.
I want to say it's like 2.5% raise for the employees, so,
Okay,
which is two full-time employees and one part-time employee.
okay. Olivia?
Is the 1.5% overtime an increase also? Is that an increase for overtime pay or?
That is overtime pay, right?
The 1.5%, there's 1.5% over the normal hourly pay in there
Okay.
for overtime. That
Okay. Thank you.
Peter?
How much did we just vote to reduce the budget when we reduced?
7,500.
7,500? Okay.
Okay, any further questions on this? Joe?
I see a lot of these lines are underspent. Like, I'm looking at FICA, I'm looking at water treatment. I know you made a reduction to water treatment, apparently,
Yep.
but what are your actuals in the water treatment?
What line item are you on?
4335.
4335? So those are year-to-date, right, Lee?
you have to, which was beginning of December.
In December.
So I've got another 2,000 just in Cal Site, so.
So Joe, you're in 4335. Which line are you talking about? Chemicals, electric, or?
I'm looking at water treatment in general. It's budgeted at 96. I think I'm gonna try to cut that down.
96, yeah.
So 4,335 altogether.
Yeah.
We've already cut that down from last year and reduced it because some of our chemicals, we switched from we had a treatment plant and we've shut that down and it's still ready to be back to use. We're trying not to use it as much and that's cost more to operate and that's why we're able to reduce some of those lines already. One of the big other lines that was Mount Laurel Water, that's the what it costs to operate that up there. If there's any water breaks or anything in that neighborhood, that's all comes out of that particular line. I'm not sure exactly which line you're individually
Well-
looking at to,
I want to reduce that, I'm going to motion to reduce that line down to, from 96 to 75. It's 21,000.
Is there a second? Oh, hold on. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. You want to speak to your motion?
I think it can be reduced further.
I second it for conversation.
Thank you.
Okay. Allison, did you have a question about this?
The year-to-date 2025 numbers, what time period are we talking year-to-date? Are we talking October?
On the
what?
first page, it says October
Oh,
31st.
Where?
Right here. Year to
Oh.
date, at the top of the first
Just on the
column.
income one. Okay, so it's October 31st for the whole thing?
yeah.
Further discussion? Comments?
I'm sorry, what line number are we talking about here?
We're talking about 4335 water treatment. It's on the third page. I guess my only question is, or my only wonder is, because it seems like the year-to-dates are kind of lagging here, I mean, we're already 6 weeks after these numbers. As much as I hate to say it, if it wouldn't be better to table this, to have them come back in the January 6th meeting with up-to-date year-to-dates?
I thought we were approving it tonight, but if they're
Well,
coming.
we were planning to approve it
I-
tonight,
I'm
but
not
if we have
comfortable approving
concerns,
this
then.
tonight, so that's why I was making that motion, but, yeah, I'll pull my motion back if you're implying that we're gonna have another stab at this in January 6th.
Well, I guess that's up to the committee. Do you guys want another stab at this with more accurate, or with more current year-to-dates? Because it does seem like there is some pretty big discrepancies between year-to-dates and budgeted amounts, and I want to make sure, but it's also a significant block of time that we don't have year-to-dates for.
I
So
just want to be clear if we'll actually have that information by then.
I guess they have to ask, who does your finances?
For
Linda?
January 6th, yeah.
January 6th?
Yeah, would be,
Would- Yeah, they should be closer at least. I mean, you
Oh,
should
yeah.
definitely have November's.
yeah, I'll have
numbers in.
November's and I should be able to have December's in there for that.
That I think would be really helpful, because
Yep.
then we can see like where you guys truly landed before we make any changes.
Okay.
So, okay, so I'll make the,
May I suggest to have another column that shows the delta between last year's budget and this year's budget to show the proposal increase or decrease? Does that
that's a
sound
poss.
reasonable?
I missed what it was.
He wants a fourth column that shows the difference between last year's budget and the proposed budget, with the changes.
Yeah, it's typically what all the other departments do. It's beneficial for reviewing.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to make a motion that we table this for tonight. Do I have a second?
Well, second.
Okay, Laura seconds. We don't discuss motions to table, I don't think. So all those in favor, raise your hand. That's unanimous. Okay, thank you. We have a meeting on January 6th. So if you guys could come back then, that would be great.
Okay, great.
All right, next up is Grassmere Water Precinct. So we also have that, if everybody can pull up your handout. Okay.
Again, we don't impact the town budget in any way, but,
I'm sorry, could you just introduce
oh,
yourself for the
I'm
camera?
sorry. I'm Tina Daniels, I'm the clerk which is an official position. Lee is our water superintendent, and we're for Grassmere Village Water Precinct. And if I can just back up a little bit, you were asking, Mark, about water rates in New Hampshire. And if you want me to, I can answer part of that question for you.
Sure.
Oh, okay. It's going to be hard to measure one water municipality against another because they all bill a little differently. And it isn't a matter of do they just bill quarterly or every 6 months or however they do that. They all bill by cubic feet and it's very different. Rochester bills per 100 cubic feet, which is actually 748 gallons because no one can envision what 100 cubic feet is. Concord bills $3.70 per 300 cubic feet. And then when you get into Manchester, they bill at $5.51 per 100 cubic feet, but then they bill what kind of meter you have. Do you have just a standard house meter? Are you an industrial customer? And if you're an industrial customer, what size meter? And you also get, depending what size, like if you're Coca-Cola, you're going to get a big discount because that's going to be, Coca-Cola was, I don't know if they are now, but Coca-Cola was Manchester's biggest water user. So they would get a good discount. Rochester, which has a big water system, very similar. They have a billing system. It's expensive, $7.05 per 100 cubic feet, which again is 748 gallons. But they also bill by the size of the meter in your house or business. I don't believe Goffstown does that, do you? No, okay, and we don't bill that way either.
Okay.
So that's
So the point
just-
is you can't really make an apples to apples comparison.
You can't, it's not, it's never gonna be an apples to apples because each municipality is going to have a, from like years ago, a setup that's different of how they're gonna do that guideline.
Okay. Okay, thank
so
you.
Getting to Grassmere. Our budget went up this year, partly because of, we do hydrant replacement, and hydrants have gone up enormously. To put that in perspective, 5 years ago, to replace a hydrant was about $1,200. They're now $6,000 to $8,000 to replace. And every hydrant that ever gets hit in our precinct is always by an uninsured driver that we can never collect from. So that's that. Manchester Water's Works has gone up. We're a distributor for Manchester. We do not have wells. Lee test our water. We have to have it tested, but Manchester is our source. They went up 3% in October. But right after they went up, they also announced, and it probably won't take effect till next year, but we don't have guarantees on this, because we didn't know this was coming. They have announced they're going up an additional 2.75% because they are expanding their Lakeshore Drive property as they're moving out of the center of Manchester. And they don't even know how they're going to apply that increase. And that's going to be a separate increase because also next October 1st, they will have another water rate increase. So we don't know what that will be. That could be 3%. I've seen them do 5%. I've even seen one year them do 9%. They don't discuss that with us. Office supplies has gone up because what we have rolled into that is cloud storage and my database storage, because I use municipal billing software and out of Arkansas, so that's all, my technical support and stuff is all rolled into that. And that's kind of about it. We have a fairly simple budget. We've gone up about 7% from last year.
And what are rates gonna do?
Our water,
Your water rates, are they going up?
they went up 3% that we just made retroactive to October 1st. I will be sending out bills the last week of December, and it will bill the previous 3 months. And our water rates are $99.40 per quarter. And the overage charge increased by, I think, 20 cents, which is 3% of what we had before. So it's from $5.40 to, I think, $5.60.
Okay, So you're talking
Per
about
100 cubic feet.
3% increase in rates. Okay. Questions? Laura first?
Thank you. The new services,
New services.
so you budgeted 3,000 and it's nothing year-to-date and then 1,000?
Okay.
New services includes, like, if a new house comes in, we have to go out and purchase water meter horns and water meters. Anything commercial, we let them buy the meter horns and meters, and we don't have any proposed real housing developments coming into Grassmere at this current time, but we got to keep something open there.
Can I do it?
Go ahead and follow up. Yeah.
So water tests. I just don't, I'm not sure I'm clear on the note, no retests were needed in 25, but we need to repair. Is that because they are needed in 2026?
No, when we test for bacterial monthly, that's one of the samples and if we had a bacterial hit for whatever reason, whether we contaminated the bottle, taken the sample, you have to do 3 resamples and then 5 the next month. So it significantly goes up if you have an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Joe?
Do you pay your commissioners?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And
How
I've
much?
talked with the Department of Revenue about this. I talked with them months ago about it, and they did not have a problem with what we do. And they didn't understand actually why the budget committee in town here had a problem with that.
How much do you pay them?
They get, gross pay is $600, and then they all have withholding, normal withholding charges. So it's, I think, $587, something like that, when the net,
Per year or per month?
I mean,
a quarter.
Oh, per quarter.
yeah, so I'm gonna make a motion to cut the commissioner stipend. for
How many
this.
commissioners? Let's get the exact numbers, though.
Yeah,
How many commissioners? 3?
Yes.
3 commissioners?
600 a month,
No,
600
it's a
quarter.
quarter.
sorry.
600 a quarter. So that's 2,400 per commissioner times 3. Oh God, it's gonna be math. 6,
7,200.
7, 60.
That's not it.
Oh, 24. Yeah, times 3.
7,200.
7,200, thank you. 2,000.
Is there any issue with the fact that this is payroll, she's saying, and not a stipend? So you're actually firing people? I don't,
Is that what?
she just said there was withholding, so that's payroll,
There's-
not,
this-
that's not the same as a stipend that you just get a stipend check. So you
This, the thing is, I go through a payroll company, and they get a W-2. And I've been through this with the Department of Revenue in Concord, and they do not have a problem with this whatsoever.
Jared has an answer to this.
To answer your question, Allison, when the school board got stipends, we also got W-2s, we had FICA
Yeah.
taken out, we had everything taken out. So they wouldn't be fired, they just
Gotcha.
would be,
Okay.
Unstipended. Joe, did you?
Yeah, so I make, is it on the salary line? Is that where you pay them out of? I make a motion to reduce the salary line by $7,200.
I'll second.
Okay.
And I know like the DRA doesn't have an issue with it, but the Goffstown Budget Committee has an issue with it.
What
so
is your issue with it?
I just don't think we should be paying.
What if all my commissioners quit? So you think people
I'm not
should-
here to get in an argument.
Do you
I'm
work
just
for
here as a
free?
member.
Yeah.
Yes,
Tina,
I'm a state rep.
Sorry,
I do.
sorry. This is,
I'm not here to
we
get
are
in an
having our
argument.
deliberations, so technically you shouldn't be getting in an argument with one another. But I mean, I think we just stated what most of us, the issue was, is that we don't get stipends. We, other elected officials in this town, most of them don't get stipends unless there's very specific reasons. So, that's our reason.
And we just cut the other precinct too, so I feel like just we wouldn't do one and not the other,
Right.
just to, same reasons.
Peter?
I just have a question. When was that stipend set? Do you remember when that amount was set? So it sounds like it's $2,400 a year, right?
Yes. I don't remember when it was set. We've always paid a stipend. I mean, for years and years. I just don't remember when that particular amount was set.
Part of the reason I'm asking is it just seems like we have so am I correct that the village district was $1,500 a year?
Yeah.
It just, it feels frankly, it feels relatively arbitrary to me, right? Like I'm not actually discussing numbers that are decided based off of, okay, this is what we need to set. Just, I don't know where it's coming from, right? That Grassmere has 2,400 and the village district has 1,500. Like, everyone's setting stipends. I'm not personally against stipends myself for elected officials. I just don't feel like I've understood any rhyme or reason to like the decision-making.
I have never, I've been associated with Grassmere Water for 16 years, and they've just always had a stipend for commissioners. I've never been I don't even know how it came about or how they started paying, and I've looked through many past minute, I mean, it just came about, but I have no idea the thinking behind it or how they came to that amount.
Brian?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And this is more of just a comment. My question has been answered where I was looking at salaries and I was comparing 25 budget to 26 budget. And I saw the comments about a slight increase. Well, if my math is correct, based upon these numbers, it's 11.73% increase. And that's not quite slight. But my question has been answered because $3,200 is coming from the commissioner's salaries. So, thank you.
Did you do the math again, no?
Huh?
Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you redo the math after you took out the commissioner's salary?
I have not.
More comments, questions before we vote? Okay. Do we need to wait for Brian to do?
Don't wait me. I don't like pressure.
Okay. It's a lot of pressure.
I think we could vote on this before we.
All right, so all those in favor of the motion to reduce that line by 7,200, raise your hand. Opposed? Abstentions? So 3 abstentions. Rich, Jared, and Mark. And then everybody else was in favor. So the motion passes. Okay. More questions, comments? Jared?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Your year-to-date, what is that date as of? Is that today? Is that end of October? I didn't see a notation on the sheet.
November 1st.
November 1st.
Thank you.
December 1st.
Oh, December 1st,
December
okay.
1st.
Perfect, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that was gonna be my next question, actually. Are we comfortable proceeding with this budget with the year-to-dates we have, or do we want more up-to-date year-to-dates?
I just wanted to look through it.
Yeah, sure, take a minute to look through it. Brian?
I just want to comment back to Peter. So I have math correct. If we pulled out that $7,200, it's an increase of 2.5% over 25.
Mark remembered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peter?
Do you have any idea on contract labor? You wouldn't happen to have actuals from previous years to 2025, do you?
The problem I got with contract labor is that's snow plowing, it's a water service break. I mean, you break into asphalt, it's gonna cost you $6,000 just for one dig. So it's really hard to put a number on that line. And that's why we've carried that 10,000 for a few years.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to get a sense of if it's a good amount to carry or not. Like, right? Have you hit
We
the
haven't
10,000,
exceeded it.
right?
Yeah, we haven't exceeded that. Back in 2020, when I started over there, they exceeded it significantly.
Okay.
We had a major water break on Master Road. So it's hard to really, it seems reasonable for like a couple service breaks or one big main break. That would be covered under that.
Jared?
Just a question, because I'm not sure of the Grassmere business model. I know it's a enterprise fund. Do you have a reserve balance? What happens if you actually do go over on your expenses? What kind of happens?
Well, we would have to then call the DRA, and there is a whole procedure and it's a big procedure that you have to go through if you go through your expenses. And you have to apply to go to, I call it revenue court, but you have to go through a whole legal procedure with the Department of Revenue to go beyond your budget, if that's
So-
what you're asking.
I think so. So you don't have like a reserve balance or a fund that you can use?
We do have a
Yeah.
reserve fund that we
We do.
could go to if we needed some more funds.
May I follow?
Yeah.
Is that a percentage of your budget? Like, what is that reserve fund currently looking like? So if your budget's 317,000, how much would you have in your reserve fund that you may be able to tap into for those issues?
It's more than our current budget at this point.
Thank you.
Is the same true for the Goffstown Water Precinct?
The Goffstown Water Precinct has a significant reserve fund, probably not more than our budget over there because that budget's
It's bigger.
much bigger.
Okay. Good?
So that reserves fund's greater than $317,000? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, yep.
Follow, just.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused. On the front page, it says totals in the first and the third column equal the second page, but the middle column does not equal the second page. Is that a mistake in the spreadsheet or something I just don't understand?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if that was revenues.
Yeah, the second page is revenue, so that's the income we've taken in versus the expenses.
I'm sorry, the second page is revenues taken in?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I see it now. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, all right. Thank you for the clarification.
So again, do you want to see updated year-to-dates? Or are we comfortable moving forward with what we have? Laura?
Yeah, I'm a little unsure. I don't think since I've been here, we've asked about a reserve funds or anything. And since it is such an increase, are those ever used to help offset that? Can that be used for that?
What do you mean, what's an increase and what
Oh.
should be offset? What are you getting at?
Are you talking about rates, like to offset rates?
Yeah. I don't know how to further explain it.
Yeah.
I'm probably not explaining
We're having a
it.
3%
Yeah, they only have a
rate increase.
3% increase. This water precinct only has a 3% increase.
Sure. So I'm not saying I'm asking for anything right now. I'm
Okay.
just saying with that amount of funds available, are those ever used to offset an increase?
No, they've never used them to offset an increase, but we are trying to build up, like, there's a major project, like Grassmere's limited in their water supply. Currently, we get the water through an 8-inch main. If you turn on a hydrant at 100 gallons a minute, the Y loses water in Mountain View. We'd like to connect the back road at some point.
So at some point,
It's
you're
a mile,
hoping-
so it would be used towards that project if
Okay.
that ever came up. So that's what it's there for.
Okay.
And as you see, we've got anticipated $5,000 for water system upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
That goes to the enterprise fund, or that fund.
Okay.
Again, you guys want to table or you want to keep moving?
I'm personally comfortable moving forward with this budget
Yeah,
tonight.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Okay.
It's a big
So do you
official-
want a motion?
If you guys are done, if there's more to do, then let's do it. Otherwise,
Um,
let's make a motion.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the Grassmere Village Precinct 2026 budget as amended by the Budget Committee.
Do I have a second?
second.
Okay. Is there further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, raise your hand. So that is everyone except Mark and me. And I'm going to vote no. And Mark, I assume, is abstaining.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, Sewer Enterprise Fund. Okay, if you could please introduce yourselves.
My name's Tim Redmond, I'm a sewer commissioner.
Lynn Poulos, so secretary.
Okay. Do you want to make a presentation, or do you want us to just start talking?
Our budget generally is very close to the same budget annually. We make small increases for contractual amounts that would appear in a default budget. We make small increases based on fuel pricing, electric pricing, and other such. We have been reducing some of our lines at the request of the Budget Committee in past years. We've also gone to the trustees. We have moved some money into the trustees account, so instead of carrying a large amount in our budget, we can get money through the trustees on short notice if we have an emergency. But we still carry certain amounts for short-term problems, and those are the type of increases you'll see, and we'd be happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
If I'm reading this correctly, though, Tim, overall you have a decrease.
Right.
Is that correct?
Our proposed budget is less than the default amount.
Okay.
Bravo.
Pardon me?
That is so impressive, Tim. Thank you very much.
It wasn't intentional.
I do have a reduction to make, though. On top of that.
Thanks, but now here you go.
Line 2, I would like to reduce to 0 from 2750. It's your
Oh, yeah.
commissioner's stipend.
I'll second that. Okay. Joe, you want to speak to your motion? Laura?
No.
Any further discussion? Peter?
Can you speak to the commissioners and the work they do?
Excuse me? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, can you speak to the commissioners and the work they do? If you have any reasoning behind where we're setting those rates at for the stipends?
The commissioners meet once a month. We are responsible for the care, maintenance, and improvement decisions financially for the whole town of Goffstown sewer system. It's all contained in a multi-million-dollar budget for the sewer operations. And we also have to execute contracts for repairs or annual contracts for the capital improvement program, and we work through a consulting engineer. So basically, we are the administrators of the funds, and then we direct the employees in the sewer department to carry out the operations, and we grant them latitude to do things the way they feel they should be done, but they always consult with us, and then we agree with their decisions or we disagree with their decisions. So we're
So that
basically
typically happens on a
administrators.
monthly basis?
Pardon
You said
me?
on a monthly basis, you're
We
meeting?
meet once a month, on the second or third, which is it?
Second.
Second Tuesday of the month, at 6 o'clock in the town hall in the Mildred Stark Room.
But they're always in constant, contact with us.
What are the rates for the commissioner stipend?
Sewer, the stipend rates?
Yeah.
There's two commissioners that I believe are $850 a year, and the chair gets a little more for the extra work you do as the chair, running the show and making sure everything gets done, leading everything. I did it for a long time, and I gave it up this year to let another commissioner be the chair, because I think it's good for other people to be chair, to learn the role. So.
Further discussion or questions? All right, all those in favor, raise your hands. Okay, so any opposed? Peter is opposed. Is that are you retracting your
No,
opposition?
no, I'm-
Oh, okay, you're opposed. And
opposed.
abstentions is Mark, Jared, and Richard. Everybody else was a yes. Okay. Anything else? Just to clarify, the sewer enterprise fund is paid for not through taxation, but by user fees. And does this, I can't remember, does this go to the voters? As a
That's
warrant
something-
article?
It's a good question. Recently, at the request of the Assistant Town Administrator, we separated our budget from the town budget as a standalone warrant article now on the ballot. So our budget is voted on, yea or nay, by the voters not connected to the town budget any longer.
Okay, okay. Are there additional changes or questions? Doug?
I'm sorry, but is that true for the water districts too? or
No,
just
the water
supervision?
districts do not go to the voters. All they needed was our approval, and then they go. Derek has a question.
Can I provide a point of clarification? The water precincts hold town meetings for the residents that live within their district. They have a traditional, yes, they have traditional town meetings.
Never knew that.
That are posted, and they hold a traditional town meeting where people within their districts can come and vote on the budget, but they have to live within those districts.
Well, okay. All right, Laura?
I'd like to just make a comment on all of what we just discussed, which is that I know we talk about how it doesn't affect taxes, but it does affect the people that are paying.
It
So
does
it's-
affect taxpayers.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So it doesn't have no implication of money.
Well, there's a difference between a taxpayer and a ratepayer.
No, of course, but I just want to, for the people watching at home, there is an impact to some people because they are paying for the service.
Yeah, I don't
That's all.
disagree with that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's not a taxpayer function. They're
No,
the general
correct.
taxpayers of the town of Goffstown.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions, changes? Okay. Then let's have a motion to send this forward to, it goes to public hearing with the rest of the budget, so I need a motion.
So moved.
Brian motions, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Laura seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor of moving this forward to the public hearing, raise your hand. And that is unanimous. All right, thank you.
Wow, that
Thank
was
you very much.
Thank you.
Didn't expect that.
All right, so now we're ready to get to the town. I'm gonna call on Jared for one thing, just for a little update from last night. Can you give us a little update from your board meeting last night?
Yeah, it was on GPV.
Don't be a smart ass.
What would
Just
you like
give
to
me
know,
the update.
Madam Chair?
Well, I know that there was discussion about the change we made to the school budget, and I know that you guys talked about it, and I thought you could give us an update. Because
Yeah.
this is supposed to be a collaborative process.
Well, I think that there aren't any meetings, minutes that have been formalized, so that's why I can't talk officially about it. But from my recollection as an individual, we did talk about doing an analysis for the past 19 years, specifically on health insurance lines. And what we found is roughly the actuals to date are 91 to 92% of what we have within our budgeted rate. So going forward, what they're going to look at, so not the budget that's been presented, but next year's budget, that would be next year's budget committee, they're going to look at trying to peanut butter spread that 92%. So taking the traditional employee plus one plan and basically trying to multiply that by 0.92, and that will be the default number going forward based on the analysis we did. There was also discussion done that other school boards don't use a employee plus one rate, they're using family plan rates. So a lot of other districts are actually increasing their budgeted lines for health insurances, but we will not be doing that as a matter of rule, or as a rule.
Okay. Great. Anything, that was basically the gist of what I wanted, so thank you. Okay, so now we're gonna move to the town budget. I know we have some work to do. I'm gonna start with, unless you have an update, Richard, do you? I'm sorry.
Well, I was actually hoping to, I have a few motions to make in an organized way, if we could start with that.
Are these motions that the select board has
Yes.
approved? Okay, so let's do that, and then we'll go to Peter's thing.
Perfect. So I will start by making a motion to reduce the bottom line operating budget by $149,381. That represents the matrix adjustment, or the adjustment to the matrix adjustment that we had made at our prior meeting.
Can I ask a question before I get a second?
Yes.
So why do you say the bottom line budget instead of the appropriate?
Because it's going to come out of multiple lines.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second that.
Peter, seconds? Do you want to speak to the motion?
No, it reflects, a little bit of a back and forth between the budget committee and the select board, and
that, we found that suitable to do.
Okay, Peter?
Well, I actually just have a question about it. So then if we do a bottom line, then it would go back to the select board to decide how they're allocating that in lines? Because you have to allocate it in certain lines event.
Yes, everywhere where we had originally budgeted for this 3.3%, we're going to shift that down to 1.5%.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Joe?
Was there talk about completely cutting it down the 6 months? Like, I'm talking about the step increase, right?
Yeah, I think we talked about it. It's not something that we ultimately decided to do, though. I can't really recall off the top of my head how that discussion went. I just, we felt it was more appropriate to go down to 1.5.
So I'm going to vote for this motion, but I think we should also talk about that if we're having a tough time later tonight.
Okay. Any other discussion on this?
Could you just say the amount one more time?
149,381.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your hands. And that is unanimous? Okay.
Continue? Okay.
I'm just giving Allison a chance to catch up.
So this one is for line 490, a motion to reduce that line by 430,000. That represents the Packer truck at DPW, which we are moving into a special article to be paid for by USD.
Do I have a second? Olivia seconds. Do you want to speak to your motion?
Again, this is feedback that we took well from the budget committee, and we found this to be suitable to do.
Okay, Olivia?
I just wanted Richard to be able to speak to it.
Okay, Joe?
Is this language, it's going to come from the unassigned fund balance?
Yes.
Okay.
Further questions, discussion? Okay, all those in favor, raise your hands. And that is again unanimous.
Samantha's gonna be so jealous she didn't get to do this one. She did so much.
Poor Samantha. Okay.
Okay, this one is line 486. We're a motion to reduce that line by 82,000. That one represents the replacement Tahoe at the fire department. We decided to purchase that out of this year's budget.
Do I have a second? Let's Mark can second that. We'll share the wealth. Do you want to speak to that?
We knew it was on the chopping block, and we had the funding this year, and it's something that we needed. So this was a way to marry, I think, the two opposing priorities here.
Okay. Joe?
Can you give me a little bit of information on where the lines that we were able to purchase that?
That would not be something that I would be able to do. I would look to
Maybe
Derek and
the
Danielle
chief
for that.
or Derek could, sorry, deputy chief for one more day.
So we haven't identified the lines specifically, but those are going to be savings in the fire department with some of their underspent operating lines, as well as they had some vacancies earlier in the year. So it'll come from wage lines as well as the related deductions.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any further discussion on this? All those in favor, raise your hands. And again, unanimous.
That's it for me.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to Peter to talk about the work you did.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I had some time on my hands. So I did not love the amount of chopping that I felt like we had to do last year. So if you don't mind, I want to give a little context to where I was coming from doing the work that I did. And I don't think I got everywhere I wanted to get, but I didn't love the CIP chopping that we did last year, especially road plan type of things. It just felt like to get to a number that we felt good with, we ended up having to do some bigger cuts that were a little too broad for my liking. So I decided to take another stab at our town spreadsheet. Specifically looking at operating costs. I believe I stuck to non-wage related costs for my analysis, but I basically just tried to take a look and see Okay, approximately where were we looking in terms of actuals from our year prior, or actuals from this year, related to what we're asking for spends? And anywhere I saw that it looked a little bit off related to what we were actually asking for in 2026, I flagged that and just took a little bit of a deeper dive. I want to thank very much everyone at the town, department heads. They all took that spreadsheet, and I think we sent it over to them. And they took a deeper dive as well and just kind of answered questions and provided more context. After being provided with that context, I am providing the budget committee with a couple of different lists. One list is for lines that I'm hoping we can all just take a look at, basically the way that we would typically review line by line and maybe ask some more questions, possibly propose some adjustments there, and then another sheet that would be a blanket motion to make that cut based off of discussion that we received from the department heads.
So I only handed out the sheet for the blanket motion right now.
Yep.
So basically, this is feedback we got from the department heads who now, 4 months later, remember they made their budgets 4 months ago. Now that they're closer to the end of the year, they were able to identify additional savings and reductions in their budgets that they thought could be made. Now, some of these, they're giving up some things, but they recognize as well that we need to tighten the budget up. So these were things that they felt could be done. So Peter's idea is to just do a blanket motion for the things on this list. And then there's a second list of things to discuss, which is not going to be a blanket motion, which is going to be things that we need to talk about if we want to. But there's a lot on this. So this is trying to follow up the work we started of checking actuals against budgeted amounts. Laura and then Joe. Laura?
Thank you. So when there is no comment, is that because department heads or departments really didn't want that to be cut?
No. There were things that the department heads came back and said, no, you cannot cut
And
this.
they're not on this
They're
list?
not on that sheet.
Okay.
They're off the table at this point. Peter
Okay.
reviewed all of those, and I looked at many of them, and we said, okay, this is what they're telling us, that they really can't lose these.
Okay.
So those things are not before you. The only thing before you are the things that were agreed could be tightened up.
Obviously, anyone could bring up any other item that
Yes,
they wanted to.
it's
just I'm not
perfectly
planning
within
on
your
bringing them up.
purview, but neither of us were going to do it, basically. Joe?
So to be clear though, this is how much total reduction in 49?
49,411.
All right, well, I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Jared?
Are we allowed to ask questions of other board members?
Yeah.
Okay. Richard, as a select board representative, hearing that this is coming from the department heads is okay, are you okay with making these blanket cuts?
Yeah, every time that I've heard a department head say that they're okay with an adjustment, I have voted for that, so yes.
Thank you.
Any further discussion, comments, questions?
I actually do have a question. I do want to make sure before I move forward, because I think this is all town hall. I guess this question would be for Derek or Danielle. The ones that I kept on here, they're relatively small amounts, but the ones I kept on here that I did not have comment from you, is there any concern over any of those that you would want to discuss?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure. Thank you.
Especially the $200 coming from the budget committee. Okay, any further discussion then before we vote? Don't we have a motion?
We need a motion.
No, I have done motion.
Oh, you haven't done the motion?
Nope.
I'm sorry, I was going to skip that part. Nope, go ahead.
I would like to motion to use this sheet to make line-by-line cuts to the mentioned lines on the sheet for $49,411.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Doug seconds. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, raise your hands. And that is unanimous. Okay. So, now I'm going to pass out the other sheet. I know. There you go. So these are the discuss lines. So we don't have to discuss all these. Right now, all these things are in the budget, but it's up to us. We just sort of, Peter's flagged them for possible discussion. And I'm going to give a stack over here. I know,
Yeah,
I'm
Mike,
sorry
Mike,
it's small, but I was trying to get it on 2 pages. So what I'm going to propose is this.
We are cutting the budget for budget committee, so.
Well, I was paying for this myself, so. Anyways, well, I'm gonna hand these out to the extras back to the department heads so they can look at them as well. But we're gonna take a little bit of I don't wanna say a break, but we're gonna take this is a lot of information. We're gonna take 10 minutes or so for everybody to sit and look and think about this, and then we'll reconvene and start again. So if we, according to that clock, 7:20, everybody should be back at the table, but hopefully you guys are looking at this in the
Before we
interim.
break, can we just get updated numbers from Derek and Danielle what our budget looks like?
I
By
think
percentage.
I was wondering
What
that.
We're
percentage?
gonna do that after the break.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
GTV, apparently there's no sound on our feed. Okay. I guess we're gonna keep going until they come out. Okay, keep going.
So anyway, I'm just saying, I do think we shouldn't be talking about it as though like, oh yeah, we're cutting $430,000 entirely, but we are putting it up as an option to voters, right? It's a separate option where they get to decide if they want to fund that or not. So I do think there is a big distinction between it being in our main article and it being a separate article.
Okay, Jared?
I don't really have a dog in the fight, but based on this logic, would it be, going forward, future boards, would it be easier to have a warrant article for the CIP items and then a warrant article for the operating fund? Because if we're kind of divvying it up like that, I think it's cleaner to say, okay, here's the operating fund that's actually to support services within Goffstown, have the collective warrant article be that operating budget, and then another warrant article to talk about funding the CIP items that are listed in the CIP. I'm not asking for that change to be this year, but I don't know if that would be something that would be better for the budget committee to look at, to say, hey, truly this is an operating budget versus there's the CIP items that, we're not going to say what items in the CIP need to be done, but here's the money for the CIP items that you have.
I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole because we're not going to do it this year, but I would say, I mean, I think that only partly works. I think you could only put in the separate warrant article the new projects because a lot of those items in CIP, they need to make the rest of the operating budget work. So, I mean, you can't have trash pickup if the packer's broken. So, anyways, I don't know if we need to go down this far. I think we should think about what we're going to do about this year's budget and what other changes we want to make to it. So, everybody's had a chance to look at the sheet. Are there items you want to discuss? Joe?
I mean, to get started, I feel like we should just start with cutting this.
Start with cutting what?
Just doing the sheet.
You
Are
want
we
to
gonna
do the
go through
entire
each
sheet?
line? Yeah, are we gonna go through each line?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think the intent was ever to cut the entire sheet. That's why it says discuss.
Well, I just discuss it a little bit faster than others, but, all right.
Peter?
I'm sorry, I wasn't actually prepared when I asked. Hold off, sorry. Go to my notes.
Laura?
I'd like to open discussion for employee development. I've experienced employee development that is extremely valuable. I've also experienced a lot of employee development that is absolutely a waste of time. I don't think that experience is specific to me, but I would like to discuss because it is a staffing thing, and that's one of our big things is we want to get good people, keep good people. So I do want to open that up and talk about, merits or not, or what we might want to do about employee development as a whole, if people are interested in doing this that way. Just because a lot of the lines are employee development.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We have a fair amount.
There's at least 7.
Okay.
Do you have a specific question for the town?
Well, I
maybe about
guess,
it?
I mean, we can ask, yeah, it's mostly town hall and police. If you can speak to the employee development, I don't know if you feel comfortable saying if it's a waste of people's time or not, so, yeah, that's just one thing I think of when I think about employee development, I don't know.
Town Hall has 6 new employees. We just got retirement notice from Catherine, our executive secretary. So within the last, we've had 5 new employees that were hired in 2025. None of them came from municipal government. They came from other industries or industries adjacent, and then we're going to have another. So we're going to have 6 new employees that have never dealt with the right-to-know law, with a lot of the issues that we're dealing with some of the financial issues. So that's why we're asking to maintain our employee development in Town Hall.
Can I do a follow-up? Is a lot of this development through the municipal association?
Yes.
Okay.
So New Hampshire Municipal Association is a great resource. They do have some free resources, as well as Primex, but a lot of their seminars are, $75 for a one-day training, that kind of thing.
Okay. Hearing that, if I can.
Yeah.
Hearing that and that it's a lot of new staff training, I feel fairly strong about keeping those town hall employee development lines.
Okay. Anybody else? So just to clarify, everything that's in here now is in the budget. Everything is being kept unless we decide otherwise. So, other lines people want to talk about? Brian?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Derek, and I think it's, 48450 hardware town hall. It has to do with the CCTV cameras. Are they new replacement? Help me understand that.
So as some of the committees may have remembered from my presentation, in 2021, we did a full townwide CCTV project and installed new cameras around all municipal buildings. They are at the end of their 5-year warranty for those cameras. So we're adding those to our regular replacement schedule, where we will replace 1/5 every year. So that 15,000 increase is. And then we had some reductions in other details within that line.
Laura?
Okay.
Brian, can you repeat the line of that? I'm sorry.
It's the 48450. It's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 down.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Just as a comment, as a follow-up, I think in the present climate, and everyone's watching the news, this is probably me personally not an item that I want to reduce. I think having security and cameras is very important in this day and age, so I'm not in favor of reducing this one at all.
Okay. Derek, can I ask if there are any vacant positions at Town Hall?
So right now, we do have a second building inspector and zoning inspector position that is vacant.
How long has that been vacant?
It's been vacant for about 1.5 years now. We did do some heavy advertising, received in candidates, but in about September, knowing what the budget increase was, we actually held off holding interviews for that position.
Okay. Do you have something on that, Joe, or do you want, okay, can go ahead.
Yeah, there were a couple new laws that were signed. One is regarding the ability for municipalities to authorize third-party inspectors, so it should save money in that way, because if Goffstown would adopt having outside approved third-party inspectors, they wouldn't need the town
The second
planner,
building
the second
inspector?
position. I think that could help free it up. So I would say that might be something we should look into, is if we choose to move forward with that position or not, because I think it's going to alleviate some of it by some of the language that was signed allowing that.
Richard, do you have any thoughts on that second position? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but
It's been vacant for a while. The thing to keep in mind is that contracted services often end up costing more. It wouldn't be something, I wouldn't want to shift anything that we have now from an employment situation to a contract situation for that reason.
Well, just to respond, that's not what it is. It puts the responsibility on the person that wants the inspection done to pay for a third-party inspector to get it faster than the town inspector would be able to do it. So it actually wouldn't cost the taxpayers additional money. It would only cost the people that are trying to get the inspections done. Derek, is there any backlog at all in our building inspections?
Currently, no.
So that's, I can make that motion if you want, but I think that's.
we'd need a number for it.
Yeah.
I believe it's with benefits and all the related, it's approximately $134,000 for the position as well as the retirement and healthcare plan.
Okay, so is that your motion?
Sure.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Laura? Do you guys want to speak to your motion, either one of you?
I think my line of questioning kind of teed it up. There's no backlog. I think that things are going to be faster, more efficient through new legislation that was signed, so I think we're good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know to whom, maybe you. Does this put the town in any sort of precarious position? So say there is a backlog and it is going to take the town a little bit longer than someone would like to get to the inspection. If they choose to, I understand it's a choice, but if they choose to pay for it on their own, does it put the town in any strange position of like they should have taken care of it, but it was put on the resident? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know who I'm asking, but
So it's SB 180, it's third-party inspectors. The liability would be on the inspector, it wouldn't be on the town, if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
The way the legislation was drafted, but I don't know, Derek, if you've had an opportunity to read into that.
I've had an opportunity to read into it, but we haven't seen the administrative rules
Right,
related
and
to
that's
it.
still
coming out.
So we don't know how that's going to work.
Is it kind of like a home inspection when you buy a house? Like you hire an inspector before you put your offer in and they,
I don't know how they're gonna make the rules, but the idea is that the person that wants an inspection in a faster way would be able to pick from a list of municipally approved inspectors, and then they could pay that inspector, and I believe they pay less. They could
Okay.
pay less.
so it is municipally approved though? It's not just like
Yeah.
some joker off the street who says, oh.
Yeah, and they would assume the liability too.
It's true.
Okay. All right, are there more questions and discussion about this motion? I think it's a good idea. If we're looking for places to cut, this is something that seems like it's does relatively little damage and nobody's losing their job because nobody's been in this job. So, that's my opinion. But any other comments before we vote? All those in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Richard opposes, and is there any abstentions? Jared abstains. Everybody else is a yes. So that motion passes.
And to be clear, I'm only voting no on this because this is literally the first time that I've heard about this, and I just haven't put enough thought into it to approve it tonight.
Oh, I was about to ask where are we tracking for right now, but
That's 134.
Vanna White over there.
Right? Okay. Well, I'm sure Derek and Danielle are tracking too. Okay, more questions. Anything else on the, let's just start, oh, sorry, Doug, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no problem, thanks, Madam Chair. Is there like a goal? I know there was a 5% number thrown out at earlier meetings. And sorry, I missed this one I unfortunately couldn't make, and I think it was a lot of the town review. We trying to hit like a 5%?
We've
level
never,
or-
as a committee, decided what number we're comfortable with. I think individually, we probably have all got numbers in our minds. I think we're gonna have to try and get to, I don't know. I don't know how we know when we get to where, unless we all like wrote down on a piece of paper what we wanted and figure out where we are. I would imagine at some point, we're gonna have to do some kind of a straw poll and just see how people are feeling and what kind of support the number's gonna have.
Okay, thank you. With this cut here, to get to 5%, I got about $194,200 left to go to get there,
Okay,
if anyone's interested.
okay. So we can check the math, and we want to give time for everybody to check the math and make sure that we're in the right place, so. Anything else on the town hall thing? Allison?
I was just kind of curious about the town hall benefits number, which doesn't really have any comments next to it. It's the last town hall item. Do you see where I'm looking?
Yeah, I do. I see where
okay.
you're looking. I don't
Yeah,
have any answers.
I just wasn't sure if everyone had caught where I was.
Yeah.
So again, I believe that's our town-wide benefit line that was previously cut back to the default number. by the Budget Committee?
I put it back on the list. I just wanted to get updated actuals, but at the time I hadn't had the updated actuals.
So our actuals are 2,652,000.
Yeah, we got further updates since I got that.
Peter, did you want to go?
Yeah, it was just one that I literally missed. So for 50220 internet, I would like to motion to make a cut of $1,200 to that. It was okayed, and I just left it on discuss on accident.
I'm trying to find the line.
Sorry. Next time we are going to make sure that I have reference lines, or that I don't ever do this ever
It's on
again.
the first page?
Yeah, town hall. So we'd be about 15 lines down. We're at 50220 internet.
It's detail line 103 in your budget.
The sheet, his didn't have lines in it.
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
I don't see it.
I don't see it
legal
either.
service,
I don't see it
consulting
either.
service, register of deeds, office supplies, postage.
Oh, I must have.
employee development.
It's on there.
No, it must have ended up on there somehow. I have my own list. Okay.
Okay, I mean, you can still do it, we just need
No,
to put
I
the
think it's
difference.
probably already been
It's
cut.
already on this one.
Yeah, it was in the
Yeah.
first
Is it
one
on the
that we
cut
did.
yet?
It was part of the 49,000.
Okay, so that's already taken
Yep.
care of.
Ah, yep.
Anything else on town hall? Is
I
it,
still think more can be done with the benefits.
okay,
Because right now, actuals versus this year's proposed, there's still $505,000 difference.
okay,
And if you go by next year's default, you'll have a $626,000 difference. If the numbers were the same, but there's going to be.
So our year-to-date updated through right now is $2,771,349. Should still have a month worth of deductions for that. I will say we had numerous vacancies in the fire department and the police department that have been filled. And we currently have 6 pregnancies or newborns at the fire department. So those will turn into family plans.
What's in the water?
there's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not
I
saying
know.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it there.
We're still we are still talking about a large difference though.
Well, if those 6 pregnancies, if those are the first-time kid, then you're going from a 2-person plan to a family plan, which is a pretty big jump.
Or you're not, because you're not using that term.
That's true. I guess it depends if they've already have other kids.
They're all first times.
Oh, they're all first-timers, Derek tells me, so. Jared?
Derek, just because I had to work this process yesterday, do you have the encumbrances of what would be paid for the month of December for the insurance so that we would understand what year-to-date? Because they aren't able to change their plans unless they had a qualifying life event.
Hold on a second, I can see with Danielle's help, maybe we can figure out how much we're gonna. So again, we're at 2.77 on that one, and we expend about $60,000 of payroll, and we do weekly payrolls. So we've got 3 payrolls, so another 240 added to that. So we're gonna be just north of, probably gonna be about 3.1 million, maybe just a little bit south of 3.1, again, with the savings that we realized earlier in the year.
Thank you.
So this isn't for this meeting, but just in future meetings, Is the select board talked about moving to like a bi-monthly payroll? Because wouldn't that save us money to not be doing weekly payrolls?
It wouldn't on the insurance side.
But wouldn't it just on the administrative side, and I mean, it's cheaper to,
It would free up full-time staff to potentially do other things. I don't know, because we do all our payroll in-house. You're not gonna, I guess you'd have 26 less checks runs and direct deposit runs. But other than that, you're actually gonna be, the process will take a little bit longer, but you'll only be doing it once every other week. So yes, the select board has discussed that and has negotiated in language into collective bargaining agreements to allow that in the future.
okay. Anything else on this benefits line, or we already move on? Joe, is that your hand up?
Yeah, is there appetite to reduce that?
Can you say the numbers again, Derek?
So right now, today, we're at $2,771,349. This year, we've run about $60,000 of payroll, and we have 3 more payrolls for that. So I guess another 180. So yeah, we'll be close to 295. Thank you.
So if I made a,
Sorry, I was just gonna say, it's already been reduced down to 3.2.
It's been reduced down to 3.2, and that's worth 60,000 on our
Yeah.
on our current rate structure. We did have a slight rate increase in 2026. I think it was just 3.8.
Yeah.
I forget what the number exactly.
Yeah,
Let's just hold that one.
okay.
Let's
I do
maybe
feel-
come back to it before we go there.
So is that number that we're looking at here not, the proposed is not correct? Because it says 3.398.
That's their
No.
initial proposed.
That was
That was the initial
So it's
prior
already
to
down
the.
to
You have another list on the cuts that you made. That was one of the ones that you cut.
November 8th.
Yes.
We already
Oh,
covered
I
it.
wasn't.
Okay. Okay. So is there anything else on town hall? Okay, then let's talk about police. There's several ones on police. And that way if we have questions, we can ask the chief to come in. So the police are all on this page, same town hall. Laura, do you have your hand up?
I do. Thank you. At the bottom of the page, the office supplies and the operating supplies, for dispatch, I'm just curious as to what kind of supplies those are.
Good evening, everyone. The office supplies for dispatch is anything they need to do their job. Pens, notebooks.
Oh, it is just that.
Erasers, although we use computers, anytime we have any downtime, they have to pull out the old paperwork and do it that way. Not that this is a huge lift, but to your point, every dispatcher has notebooks because all their notes that they take phone calls and other emergency things goes into a notebook, and then they transcribe it into the dispatch CAD system. It's really just based on whatever they need for supplies, nothing like specific, but
Can I follow up? And what is the difference between, and I feel like I look at this every year and wonder, between office supplies and operating supplies?
yeah, so office supplies are your basic supplies, like I said,
Of
that
an
stuff.
office,
And then
yes.
operating supplies is other things in nature, like, if they need anything, we not that it's necessarily furniture, but they have different stuff that they can buy, like they have like a stool that they use, or other, just things that help with operating the Division 4. I can pull up some examples. I don't have them right in front of me, but if you give me a second, Laura, I can grab them.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Who's gonna let him finish this?
Any other questions while I'm perusing
Peter
that?
had a question.
Well, I think it's more of a comment on this. These two lines are a great example of places where it does seem like we are under expending them year after year. I mean, these are not big lines. Not whatsoever. I do have to say, in doing this exercise, I just do hope that we can take a look at these lines in the future and just see if they're, if they're accurate with what we're utilizing in those lines, and we're not just leaving lines that are saying, oh, we might spend $800 or we might spend $1,000 here if we're typically, spending X dollars. I just think those cleanups are helpful. And again, I feel terrible that I'm literally asking department heads to answer questions over $800 here and there, but at the same time, I do want to make sure that we're looking at budgets that reflect what we're spending year over year, right? Does that make sense in terms of why I'm saying, again, yes, I understand this is for supplies, but your own numbers are indicating that generally it's been underexpended by a good amount, right?
Well,
Year after year.
are you referring to what you're seeing for 24 and 25?
Yes, I am referring to 24 and 25, of course, yep.
Okay. I spend months putting my budget together, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah, we have to make sure that we look at this as best we can, which I did. But yeah, I mean, sometimes we spend $1,000, sometimes we spend $800, sometimes we spend $2,000, depending on what the needs of the agency are. It's kind of like we talked about with like postage, right? Like we look at postage, the postage goes up. We sometimes mail a lot of stuff through the process of our yearly what we mail out, and sometimes we don't. It just depends on what's going on that year. I understand what you're saying, Peter, and for my point is, my team and I spend pretty much since July putting together numbers that we really have to focus in on what this town needs for police department to operate as great as we do, and also the needs of the taxpayer where they can afford to live, but also still get the services that we've always provided to them. We spend a lot of time and effort to get to this point. And, we'll work hard, as we always do, and next year we'll work harder.
Do you mind if I follow up?
Yeah, it's fine.
Chief, I really appreciate what you're saying. I believe we have a challenge, though. And it's not your department, it's not any particular department.
I agree.
I do believe we have a challenge when year after year we get budgets that seem to have a lot of budget creep, at least when it's getting to the budget committee, right? And one of those places, it's not everything, but one of those places is budget creep on line by line by line, right? If in the aggregate, we're gonna have that issue. If every line is like, well, we could spend this much, or we could spend this much, we could spend that much, and we're budgeting all of those lines, it's not just you, it's everyone, right?
Yep.
So, again, that's why I want to really be clear that I didn't go through this exercise in order to just be nitpicky, but because I feel like if we're gonna continue to get budgets that are relatively large in terms of what their asks are relative to the last year, we have to find something where we can improve this process.
I agree. And I
So
think
that's all I'm
to give
asking
some
for.
context, and I've done this, I think when Brian has asked me several questions sometimes, I tend to, for this committee's purposes, give you guys some historical perspective to kind of see where we're at. I don't think I gave you the historical perspective of, operating supplies and office supplies, because I agree with you. It's one of those things that like, it's a need, but like, we can figure it out, every year. But to your point, I understand what you're saying, because it absolutely, as budget creeps, we have to figure out where we're gonna go with it. But, I just wanted to hammer home to the point to this committee that my team at least works very hard. I know my colleagues do too, but it's tough when we get to this point and we're really grinding out the different items. But and I'll just say, I'll leave it to the rest of the team here. But for us, like, we look through things, and as I said in your packet that you gave us, our spreadsheet, if we cut, we'll figure it out, and then I'll tell the board at some point if we're going to make it or not, and it's just communication, transparency with you guys, and the board. So
I have a question on another line here, Chief. The equipment line, it's 53410. Your note says so I'm not questioning the increase, but your note says, can cut if we encumber per board.
Yes, so I think in my presentation, I presented to you guys that we increased it by, I think it was $8,900 for the other half of the agency to receive their optics on their sites. I have asked the board to encumber that money if they approve it. If we have money funding this year that's left over due to wages and some other things that we are underspending, kind of what we just did earlier, I'm asking the board if we can try to at least make those purchases this year and then cut that out of next year's budget fund. That's something that I'd have to get the permission from the Board of Selectmen and see if they're willing to use whatever money we have left over that we've already taxed on and see if we can do that. And if we can, I think that'll be a cut that we can throw right on this table and do it. And I think if the board doesn't want to do that and they don't feel that's necessary, then I'll still ask for it. And if we cut it as a whole, half of our agency will not have those optics for another year.
So yeah, I'm not in favor of that.
Yeah.
But I'm also in favor of trying to find ways to cut $8,900 out of the budget.
Yeah, I think, and I'll let Richard answer, but I think the plan was to get to the 22nd for the board to see where they're at for their final encumbrances and see if they're willing to authorize that. And if that was the case, we could come back. If they did say sure and they authorized it, we could do the POs and get that ready to go, and then we could come to this body and have that information for you guys.
This is a maybe. And then my other question is on equipment maintenance. So the proposed budget is $36,680. 26,000 of that is for your radio maintenance contract. So that's off the table.
Can I just clarify that?
Yes.
It was $31,626 is the radio maintenance contract.
31,000. Okay.
That's how much we paid already. I think what I added in the notes, I got to pull the notes up real quick. Yeah, that might have been the, we're just about 31,000 is what we're paying, what we just paid. My concern with I had already dropped it down by, I think it was 12,000. Due to, when I gave my presentation, I had taken 12,000 off that, and because of that renegotiated contract. And my concern was, we're seeing another, based on that draft that Peter put out, it was like another $16,000. I just wanted to make sure I was clear that we did have a contractual obligation in there of that number, and that we also had money in there that was contingent upon other things that were failing. And I had mentioned that we had a lightning strike on an antenna that did not cover. We had to find money to fix that. There was some money in that line. Again, to Peter's point and his earlier comment, sometimes we build in a certain amount of money in certain lines for those contingencies that sometimes get used, sometimes don't. My fear is if we go right down to the wire with the budget, sure, like, we'll pay what we do, but if we have those lightning strikes or we have some things that fail, we're asking the board to overexpend, and then what happens when we get to a point that we're completely at 100% of our budget? I've never been in that position personally, so I would have to defer to the board and Derek and Danielle about transfers in the budget, but we've been pretty lucky to keep our budget very specific and managed it very well, so.
So you've only got $5,000 in here for unexpected radio problems.
And I'm pretty sure that that lightning strike, I think we paid about $3,000 just for the climbers to go up the tower.
Okay.
But again, if the committee decides to cut, I just would like to say we need at least the contractual obligation.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. Any other questions for the chief? Comments, motions? Okay.
Laura, can I just address Laura's question?
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
So we just this year for operating supplies, we bought like a new vacuum cleaner sweeper thing that was about $80 for dispatch because they clean their own.
Okay.
So we have not spent a whole lot this year, to Peter's point, out of that line. Other years we have, but those are some of the operating things that if they need something new, we get it.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on to fire.
Thank you.
So are you chief yet or deputy chief? You're still deputy chief. Okay. You can come up. Come on down. So most of this back page is fire. Peter, do you have any?
I'm looking through it.
And I went through this again, Peter. I did find one I do have for you.
Thank you.
I know it's not a lot.
So a lot of your items are on the discuss list because you didn't have any cuts.
Correct.
So I think that's why we felt like we needed to look at this a little more carefully.
So the 53,470, the station supplies, I looked back at our actuals.
Yep.
I guess, sorry, if I can just put a pin on that for a second. One of our big problems in going through previous years is it sets us up for failure when you're trying to figure that out, because a lot of our costs are not monthly or even annually. It changes based on our response to calls. For example, last year we had a structure fire off of Gorham Pond. It was this time of year. The engine had to lay in 4-inch hose. One section of 4-inch hose is $900. And because of the driveway was so narrow and the conditions as well as the gradient, the engine slipped and they had to make an emergency maneuver just to keep the $1 million engine from not tipping over and going down the hill. That caused them to wrap up 3 lengths of hose, so we had to replace 3 lengths of hose because of that. So we had another fire that forestry fire that we burnt up forestry hose. So that type of stuff just, unfortunately, what we're not seeing in this is we have to stop purchasing in some lines, especially this late in the year. But usually around that September timeframe, we have to stop purchasing some lines because we're so far over in other lines because of calls that we have. And you'll see that like this year, tires for us. And right now I have an engine out of service because I have to replace 3 tires on it. And that's going to be a couple $1,000s. So what I just want us to look at is a lot of these lines, it varies so much from year to year. The other ones that, like Peter was going through, looking at it, I did look in and like station supplies. I do feel, I know you wanted to do 2,500. I looked back and I feel fairly confident a $1,500 reduction would be good there. So I wish I could find more for you. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions.
You said station supplies, what's
Station supplies, it's 53,470 station supplies. It's down towards the end.
I think in our sheet it says facility maintenance supplies.
Yeah.
Facility maintenance supplies, yep.
Yeah.
That's it? And you're saying you could live with a
$1,500 reduction instead of the $2,500
Can I motion for that?
Yeah.
Then right now? Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
just, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, I looked through, I went back all the way through 2022, and it's tough because I don't have a lot of historical information on what they chose not to purchase that year to cover other overages and stuff. So it was a little difficult, but trying to do the best that we can with it.
It is kind of funny that one of your comments was, as long as we don't have a disaster, it should be fine.
Well, emergency management line, like we talked about that in the previous meeting, because we're actually, Joe, I think one of Joe's favorite cuts was like, I just got to cut $1,000 from something. So.
That's not about you, Joe. Don't look indignant.
What?
From the emergency management line. So just, and it's, yes, absolutely, as long as we don't have a large flood, it's not going to affect us at all. But if we have a
But I
flood,
think the
then
point is,
we're going to
if you
definitely
do
have some
a large
overages
flood,
for the
we need you
year.
guys to have what you need to deal with.
And, well, it's
Point of order,
also,
you have a motion on the table.
you also have, the other thing to remember is that emergency management line is emergency management for the entire town.
Right.
So when we open up the EOC because of a school incident, a large event, large snow event, anything like that, any type of disaster, all those funds come out of there.
Okay. Okay, so Peter does have a motion to reduce that line by $1,500. Facility maintenance supplies, is there a second?
I'll second.
Laura seconds. Do you want to speak to the lines? Do we need to speak about this any further?
I don't think so.
Okay. All those in favor of that reduction, raise your hand. All right, that's unanimous.
You should put it on the board.
Oh,
Makes a big difference.
$1,500.
Listen, we're just,
I get it. I mean, I'm a taxpayer too. Every single dollar helps.
Is there anything else, either on this sheet or anywhere else? Joe?
Are we just talking fire, or can I?
Yeah, let's talk
Okay, then,
fire.
no, no,
Doug?
Yeah, I'll hold off.
I think we gotta talk about the boat.
I thought we had to talk, oh, well.
Is a
okay,
boat
yeah.
on there?
We didn't cut the boat yet?
No, we have not cut the
Yeah, we
boat.
should talk about the boat then.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the
guys, I
boat's
put a lot of
not,
work in this. No more questions?
well,
It's fine.
You have a line on here for a boat?
No.
he does not.
That's
The
a
boat is
CIP.
not on this sheet.
It's CIP. But
I did not
It's fire.
delve into
It's a
CIP.
CIP. So I just don't think we can afford it this year. I think we need to push it out. I mean, they are getting the command vehicle, which I think was the higher priority for the fire department, correct?
It just depends what we have for calls.
Okay. Joe?
They already have a boat.
One.
They have two boats.
Yes. Yep. We have another boat. That's fine.
So we have two boats, we are replacing one. I don't think it's necessary this year.
Okay.
And I think at the point that we were discussing the budget the first time around, I think you actually said that you'd be all right with pushing that boat out to next year.
Okay. So do I have a motion?
A motion to cut the boat.
Rich have motions to cut the boat. Is there a second?
Is this your first
Joe
motion?
seconds.
Wait, we have to haze him.
Any other? I think you guys don't probably want to speak to it, right? Because you just spoke to it. So
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Because I feel passionately about fire. With cutting the boat, is there anything else that could be also let go because it is directly connected to the boat?
Actually, we tried to do that the best that we could. So typically you buy a boat and a trailer.
Right.
Luckily, like we talked about, we have a couple people that are really good mechanical, as well as we actually have a welder. So we actually felt we could actually
Handle the boat.
keep the trailer. So that's why you're only seeing costs for the boat and not the boat and trailer. So
Okay.
yeah, it's like Eric was talking about. Is we're trying to put as much work into this as we possibly can.
No, thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your.
Just a point of order, we're talking about the boat, what's the number associated with it? So that-
Oh,
Just
sorry.
want to make sure we all,
$20,000 and it's CIP. Well, they know what line. It's the only boat we were talking about.
reference line 487.
Yes. Thank you, Jared. Got it? Reference line 487? Yeah. Okay, all those in favor of reducing the budget by $20,000 for the boat, raise your hand. Okay, that's unanimous. Any further questions for the deputy chief on the fire department? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, 20, you're right. By the way, Peter, I have a picture for you of your name tag in front of the speaker on the phone.
We had to turn it this way so we wouldn't forget you.
Oh.
Okay.
It helped a
Often
little.
forgotten.
All right, so the two last departments on here, public, or, wait, we have three departments, I think. Public Works. There were two lines, Adam, that we just had, said discuss. Yeah.
Good evening.
Rich?
Don't both those lines say okay on them?
Well, that's why I think they're in the discuss pile, because I think they said okay, but then I think Peter and I were like, are they really okay?
Yeah,
Because they sounded kind of important.
in their defense, they did make a lot of cuts.
Yeah,
That- Based off of my questioning, they already have a lot of cuts
Yeah,
in the
Public
one that we
Works
made.
did make a lot, so.
I think, like everybody else, I think we kind of see the goal of the year here, and, whatever we can do to make that happen and get a budget that passes, I think is the name of the game. So for the electricity, just to kind of give you a new snapshot of where we sit, I think the year-to-date, you do have the current year-to-date is $13,041. Electricity for the DPW facility line, which is where this one comes out of, is about $1,000 to $1,400 a month, depending sometimes about how many call-ins we have after hours when the garage electricity and lights are all on. But so I think it's safe to say we'll probably have enough to cut that if rates stay fairly consistent next year. And I know we're under contract for the supply side of electricity. It's you see my note there about distribution. I don't believe they're locked in, at the PUC level. So if it changes, it just means we really don't have a lot of wiggle room, but we'll figure it out if that's the case. So I think you're safe to make that reduction for sure. The second one, I just want to put a note that would definitely be a reduction in service. Unfortunately, we're coming into 2026 needing a household hazardous waste collection, which starts us off in a bad spot because that's about a $15,000 to $17,000 charge in one shot. So each collection of hazardous waste costs that much. And then we have our monthly charges that also come out of this line for items such as Freon-bearing appliances, so the Freon recovery service, electronics, and fluorescent bulbs are the big ones, antifreeze to a lesser degree. So we do have some revenue offsetting for those things, but this line itself primarily are those household hazardous waste collection events that we have. So we accept it year-round, but then twice, and probably in '26, the plan was to have 3 collections because we have one right at the beginning of the year that we're going to need. I'm not supposed to house hazardous waste on site because really we're not a generator, we're a pass-through agent, for lack of a better term. If we hang on to hazardous waste for too long, we become a generator, and that puts us in a different category with DES with some different fees that we would have to pay. So what would happen here if we do make a cut this large? Unfortunately, if we make any cut, it probably it means that I'll have to stop collections at some point in 2026 because we won't quite have enough, for a third. It's like kind of all or nothing for that final collection. So cut TBD, but if we cut that much, likely what would happen is August, September timeframe, we would just stop allowing residents to bring it. We would say, please seek out your, Regional Planning Commission collection events. They usually do one in the fall somewhere around or in other RPCs around the state. And then we would just have our final pickup at some point there, September, October timeframe, and we would just be stagnant for the rest of the year to make it work.
Peter?
Adam, so I just want to be clear, so we're talking about the line where you initially, we had a year-to-date this year as of 12/3 of $27,095, right? That this is the line we're talking about, budget at 32, with an increase of $24,500 for next year. You're saying that if we cut any of that increase, you feel like we might have to reduce services? Or are you saying if we cut the 7,500, like
If
could
you
we
cut the
cut
75
2,500 and still get
So-
the services we want?
As of today, we're at 28,000, so we spent a little bit more since the 12/3 budget roll. And it's about 1,200 a month baseline for all the other stuff that's not household hazardous waste, but still comes out of that line. And then our Republic Services collections are between that $15,000 to $17,000 per pickup. So we would have to stop collections, for any reduction really, we'd have to stop collections early next year, but it's just a matter of when in the season we would stop to stay under budget for that line.
Okay, Joe?
If I remember hearing you correctly, we don't take other towns' hazardous waste, right?
We've stopped.
Okay,
So it's
that's
all
where I was
within
wondering.
Goffstown now.
Anything else on, you only had a couple of lines in here.
The other, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, as a reminder, household hazardous waste does have an offsetting revenue. Both the bulbs and the antifreeze, we charge for that stuff. There's a fee set up at the scale, but then the actual collection of household hazardous waste itself from residents, there's a fee which the select board review annually. So there's always an opportunity to adjust that up to kind of offset the additional cost as well.
Okay, Joe?
So I know we tabled the motion to cut the message trailer out.
Did we?
Yes.
Whoa.
I made a motion last.
We tabled it on 11/18.
Okay.
So I guess my motion would be to take that off the table.
And what's the amount and the line number?
The line is
Thought that was already out.
30,000. It hasn't been taken out yet.
It's how much? I'm sorry.
Oh, great. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I'm seeing
I
it wrong.
thought it did come out.
What else? So we took out the trailer and the Towmaster trailer?
We took out,
Okay, all right, thanks, sorry.
we took out the $200 for the additional road plan, the message trailer, and the Towmaster. Did we take out the culvert? Culvert rehab program? We did not. Although, right, okay. So this is Adam's priority list. So right now, all that's, the top priorities are all in place.
Yeah, I think we should talk about road funding too, at some
Road
point.
funding?
Like the road plan,
Yeah, I know. I just couldn't hear you. Just making sure I could hear you.
at some point.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if we do it now or later.
Let's finish this last little sheet, and then we're gonna look at it holistically again and talk about it. Okay? Thank you, Adam. Do we want to talk about Parks and Rec or library? Parks and Rec only has one little teeny thing on here, so. And he, as I remember, Peter, he took out a fair amount.
He did. And that's why I kind of left that undiscussed. And I
Yeah.
didn't take it out, but I didn't. No, I'm good with Parks and Rec myself.
Okay, so anything and then on library?
I guess my question just, when it comes to facility maintenance, I think I had proposed 3,000. Concern was this was going to leave a little bit, not a lot of room, but I mean, would we be able to live?
In what we're trying to accomplish today, would we be able to live with half of that? Like
No.
1,500?
No.
Your concern, yeah, go ahead.
Could I, we've already cut that line because we had an increase so that we could have the drainage work done, which has happened. It is going to result, the drainage work does result though in an increase because we now have to maintain those pumps. But on top of that, we've got a very old building, and one of my biggest concerns, I don't believe you were at the meeting when we shared the list, and I don't know if it went to you, but we have a buildings project list that deals with maintenance. And one of the biggest concerns I have is the HVAC system. Our HVAC system, especially on the third floor, has been undergoing a lot of repairs. We're at the point now where they have to actually make the parts because we can't buy parts for it. And at some point, that's going to need to be replaced. It's one of the reasons we're going to be putting in a capital reserve fund request. But between the new pumps, the age of the building, the HVAC, the elevator, we really have gone through our budget with a fine-tooth comb. This budget went through many revisions, and the board was very cognizant of the fact that our budget was about to, for the first time, be over $1 million. And how could we keep it from first exceeding that number, and once it did, keep it to the most minimum levels. The repairs, we would be putting the building at risk. And I believe the deputy chief noted, when they open EOC, well, when the Emergency Operations Center opens, oftentimes the library building becomes a cooling center or a heating center. So not having the money available to fix the HVAC system until we have the funds to replace it, I would be adamantly opposed to that. I mean, obviously it's your decision, but.
Joe?
I had a wonderful conversation with Terry last week, and I think also the grant that you got from the state didn't fully cover the window, so you had to find money somewhere else in the budget to get the
Oh.
rest of the,
No, it was the drainage
the
project.
drainage project? Okay, so,
was
yeah,
the
so I wouldn't
drainage-
be in
Well, it's-
favor, I
the
think. if we-
grant, the grant they got from the state is a 50/50 match. So
Right.
they did have to produce the other 50% of that.
Right.
Another 19,000, in addition to the drainage project.
Correct. But where the conversation that Joe and I had was on how we were managed to find the additional money
Oh.
to be able to pay for the drainage project, because that came in over what, the $20,000 that we had in the budget. And due to a lot of hard work with Diane and with DPW, Eric at DPW, we were able to get, reasonable costs to have that done, but we did have a challenge finding that money.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't.
That's,
mean to-
that's the information I wanted.
Okay.
And I just wanted to, just because you spoke, the reality is what I had in front of you doesn't have context for next year, right? I can what I was looking at was only looking at last year. It's essentially just saying the same thing we do here, but saying, hey, can you tell me more about it?
Absolutely.
So, thank you. Don't have any motions.
Anything else? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So, should we check on where we are? Okay, I get 28,394, 180. Does that sound right?
That's what I have too.
That's what everybody else? Do we have a percentage increase? I can do it from what we had originally.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
I've got 6.94%.
Thank you. Oh, it's still 6.9. Okay. So I think we need to, did you have something, Joe?
I have a motion.
Okay.
I want to reduce the road plan by 300,000 from it's at 1.8 right now, right? It's at 1.6? Sorry, by 200,000 to 1.4.
Okay. Okay, is there a second? I have an alternative plan, but that's okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Do you want to speak to your motion?
We're almost there.
We're almost where?
We're almost down to 5%. I mean, we're getting pretty close.
And it's still more money than we gave last year, so.
My only question was, would it be better to keep the road plan intact and take the 200,000 from the culvert rehab programs? I mean, in the end, it's all kind of the same pot of money,
I
more or
thought the
less.
culvert had
but-
matching state.
Huh?
I thought the culvert had some state grants.
How much? Can you come tell us, Adam? How much?
It had 90% last year or something.
Yeah, the Montalona project had a
Right,
huge
okay.
state grant. But I thought he was trying to get ahead of the culvert issues. Like there were culverts that he'd identified as being close to failure, and he was trying to start to put some money in to deal with those. Is that correct, Adam?
I think so. I was trying to listen to the IT director tell me if you drop anything, make sure it's not the laptop. Yeah, so previously we had the year one, when I first proposed this project was, or this program was Montalona Road Culvert, which does have an offsetting grant at 90% from the HSCM. That, because of the way the budget worked out last year and the funding sequence, we've opted to accept that as unanticipated revenue, so the select board moving ahead with that project this year, and we're being reimbursed. So that project, unfortunately, that revenue is out of the proposed out years. Several other culverts are in there, but as of right now, there's been no guaranteed revenue source. There are a few different programs. There's some talk at the federal level about the hazard mitigation program being refunded. It was defunded earlier this year. So if that happens, there may be some influx, but as of right now, there's really no great pot of money for culvert projects.
So if we made this reduction, it would not affect the Montalona project, correct?
Correct.
And if these federal funds did come online and we had the possibility of matching them, we could still do it, even if we don't have to have a formal culvert rehab program, right?
Correct, depending on, timing, how it would probably go. Let's say in January, if they all of a sudden said, here's a program, you're eligible, apply for it, we get the grant. Probably what would happen is we would front the road plan as the matching funds and then reimburse that fund once bills were paid for the grant project, if that were to happen.
I mean, which is kind of my point, is that these are all connected, right? I mean, because the culverts are part of you can easily make the claim that they are part of the road program.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, so whatever. So I guess I can pull back my motion if you want to make the motion on the culvert. It's all the same. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it is all the same. I mean, I'd rather have it come out of the culvert line than the road plan line.
The biggest change is I bring the select board after town meeting a list of my road projects for the year. If the culvert program is defunded, that budget, that item with the select board will be significantly reduced and the road list will be longer. If the road plan's cut, the road plan list will be small, and I'll say, and I'm saving money for these culverts here, and we'll just get to fewer, roads.
Well, now we're kind of getting into governance issues. I mean, which one do you want? If the money is the same, what is the best way to do this?
I'll just say that this whole thing kind of makes me a little bit nervous because it is, starting on the road plan motion, yes, it would ultimately be more than what was budgeted last year, but we've already reduced it by $200,000, which was supposed to account for inflation from the requested amount last year. So we're far below the purchasing power that Adam was seeking in the prior year's budget. I think when it comes to these things like critical infrastructure, they're the most talked about pieces of town service. I don't think that we should be futzing anymore with the DPW budget, considering that they're the ones who take the biggest hit every single year.
That's true, but we also need to get to where we're trying to get if we want to have a budget pass. Peter?
That's something that I think we need to discuss a little bit further, because I don't, our job is to talk to people about what responsible budgeting is, I think. In addition to doing all the work we're doing here, we also should be talking to every single person we know about what's responsible for our town. And is it responsible to cut from your infrastructure funding? Just so I can save a few dollars this year. Like, how much money am I saving on my taxes in order to make that $200,000 reduction that could have gone directly into infrastructure funding for that year? I don't think, I was against it last year. I didn't love us doing all the deep cuts that we did, all the infrastructure funding that we did last year. And I just don't think it's good here. Like, I would much rather see us either have to propose a budget that's higher than we wanted it to be, so that it gets what we think we need, or keep on doing other work.
Okay, so look, I'm going to make a motion that we table this motion, and that I think we need to have this bigger discussion about where we're ultimately going to end up and what we're willing to do to get there. So I make a motion to table the road plan motion. Is there a second? Peter seconds. All those in favor of tabling? Opposed? So we, Brian and Joe oppose.
No,
our-
no.
abst-
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I saw you wave. So Brian opposed, Doug, I'm sorry, I didn't see you vote.
I abstain.
Okay, Doug abstains, is our, and did you vote? I'm sorry. Which one did you vote, Jared? Obviously, I don't remember if I asked you.
I'm answering your questions, Madam Chair. Yes, I voted to table.
Okay. Did you get all that, Allison?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there was a
The
little.
question was, did I vote? Not how I
Oh, for heaven's sakes. All right, so that motion is tabled. So I think we need to have this bigger discussion. I'd like to know how much more we would need to cut to get to 5%. Like what the actual number is.
To get to 5%?
Yeah. Or like 5.5%. That's
So
fine.
to get to 5%, it'd be another $520,000.
Oof. Okay. So, I'm not sure how to proceed at this point. I mean, personally, I don't think anything higher than a 5% budget's gonna pass, but cutting another $525,000 is a lot of money out of this budget. But where does everybody else stand? What are people comfortable with? Laura, you raised your
Yeah,
hand.
I don't even think a 5% is gonna pass. I'm not saying I like that or don't, I'm just don't, I think that's where it is. So I understand the question of what do we need to get to 5.5, but I still don't think that's enough, which leaves us in an even bigger
Bigger problem.
problem.
Joe?
Last year it was 1.7,
Yeah.
and that barely passed.
Yeah. Laura?
And I hate this so much. The only way we're gonna get this done is to cut services. That there's like no question. It is in my mind anyway. I can't figure anything else out. Which means we're gonna really have to start prioritizing what is most essential of services, and I hate that I even have to say that out loud. But I don't know another way. If someone has another way, please say it now. But I don't understand how we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to prioritize safety. And where does that leave us? I don't know.
What does everybody else feel?
I agree with Laura that I think that unless it's extraordinarily low, that it runs the risk of not passing. I also don't agree with that that's in the best interest of the town or the taxpayers. I think it's a really hard situation. I don't think there's going to be a right or wrong with this because I understand the importance of not having another default, but there's also the importance of safety, of ensuring, at this point, basic services to taxpayers.
Okay.
And to speak to sort of Peter's point that he made earlier, it's definitely our job to get out there and explain this to people. But I don't know, I need new explanations at this point. Because to keep what I think we personally need to keep the town safe and to have the appropriate services that taxpayers deserve, first of all, and that keep our town a place that people want to be. I still see the argument of, yeah, but it's too much money. And I don't know how to negotiate that with the taxpayers.
Okay, so where does that leave us? I mean,
Well, I have an
Izzy?
idea. I know it's not gonna be liked, but I think the 1.5% of the matrix adjustment needs to go.
Okay.
And, my reasoning is they got a both their matrix adjustment and their raise in July of last year. So that would be 6 months ago, basically. So now on top of half of that year having that raise, their next raise is getting moved back. So they're already doubling that raise, plus putting it on top of that other raise for 6 months.
So how much would that, I think that would get us about,
124, 485 around?
give or take. Well, that would get us 100, that would get us closer. Do you want to make that motion, Izzy?
Yep. Should I get the exact number before I make it?
$124,485.
Well, there you go.
All right, I'll make a motion to reduce the matrix adjustment, $124,485.
Is there a second? Joe seconds. Do you want to say anything else to your motion, either one of you? Do we want to discuss this further? Are there any comments? Jared?
Just for further understanding, so would this mean that people are not going to get a raise in July with this motion, if it passes?
They weren't already, they're going to get it in
They're gonna get it
January.
January
They're going to get it in January, so, let me rephrase. Based on this motion, when, if at all, would the individuals be getting their raise?
January.
January.
And it would be how much?
3%?
Is that, what's the step, 3%?
Depends on where they are.
Depends on where they are in the matrix. It's anywhere between 3 and 4%, depending where they are in the matrix.
Okay. Okay.
And we do have 12 employees that are at max step, so they would receive
Longevity?
no adjustment in 2026.
They would get any longevity or anything along those lines?
They would be, if they've worked long enough for the town, they may be eligible for longevity.
Thank you.
Peter?
What would the alternative be if we split the other raise by half?
Oh, I really don't want to touch that other raise. I think it's, my personal opinion is, I think it's going to be taken in as a really bad sign.
Okay, no, again, because I know Israel's probably gonna get heat for this.
I don't care.
I want to, no, but I want to speak in his defense in the sense that, like, we're still talking about giving our other raises 6 months earlier. So it's not like we're talking about, like, reducing people's wages entirely. We're still, in this budget, asking to give the overall raises in January, but, tough one.
I think it's the same amount. I mean, if they'd gotten it July 1st and the double raise, or versus the January 1st and the half a raise, I think it all comes out to be about the same. But Richard had his hand up.
They're getting their other raise earlier too. But
The point of it isn't really to give a raise in January. Like, we keep phrasing it as if we wanted to give the raise earlier, but what we're trying to do is stay in compliance with the spirit of a law that was proposed, failed, but has been proposed again. It's not just to fast track raises. We're actually trying to stay in line or stay ahead of changes being made by the legislature.
By the way, I do agree. It's just that in effect, though, it does fast track the raises.
Yes,
Like,
it does,
Right,
but-
I know, I understand, and I very much would hope the people at home aren't like, oh, our town's trying to do this. But it does increase the rate, or if we were to do it all together, it would have.
It does. It's just that is not the guiding
Yeah.
rationale behind it.
Absolutely.
Laura?
Thank you. I think in another year, in another time, I'd be in favor of the spirit of the law, but it isn't a law yet, so maybe we should take that opportunity. Oh,
I'm going to let Derek respond to
So
that.
the law that is going to go before the legislature says that you cannot take pay increases made, if they're made halfway through the year, they cannot go into default budget. So if you give July 1st raises, and the bill as it's currently written would be in effect January 1st of 2027, so that's our next default year, we cannot have those people's raises in the default budget. So what we would have to do is do it as retention bonuses, where we're not changing people's wages There's still this-
Otherwise they would get a decrease.
That, it wouldn't be in the
Oh.
default. And then
Right.
the gap between default and operating would be 18
So in
months.
effect, they're
We'd
trying, this change is trying to protect the wage, the like current wage of the non-union employees.
Oh, then I apologize, because this is the first time I'm specifically understanding that piece. I don't know if I missed it, or this has been a lot of the July 1st, January 1st. Okay, so that changes things.
Joe?
Well, what if we were to know a state rep that could just get the effective date moved out a year? Who happens to be a co-sponsor on that bill?
Well, but I do think the intent, I mean, I actually really like the intent of this change because I do think it's better to see the full year. As a budget committee member, I want to see what the full amount's going to be and not be thinking about, oh, this is half, but it's, then you multiply. I think it's better to have it be a full year, in my opinion. So, I mean, I think money-wise, I think this is still comes out to be the same as if they had gotten both changes on July 1st. Now they're only getting one, but they're getting it for the full year. I think it's the same amount of money.
But then what about what Derek said? I feel unclear on this. I don't know why I keep getting,
What do you mean?
because I don't want to see someone's raise taken away.
It's not. They're not, no. They're not getting the raise taken. I'm not sure how that happened,
Well,
Laura.
he said it wouldn't be in the default.
Because we're moving it to, if you leave it at July 1st, it's not going to be in the default. We're moving it to January 1st, so we're protecting it, and it will be in the default going forward.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I think I just muddled it worse for you.
The step
Izzy?
increase was moved by the town to January. We're not touching it. So that has nothing to do with this. This is only the matrix adjustment.
Right,
So the step increase, we're not doing anything with.
right.
Now we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, I think some of us may want to, but that's not.
Okay. All right.
So
are we ready
can
to-
someone explain this one more time like I'm 5? Because I clearly am having an issue with, between rectifying what Derek just said and what I thought we all just said.
All right.
I'm sorry
If you,
to,
if
that I'm
we
not.
didn't change anything and just did it the way we were gonna do it originally,
Yes.
they would get a 6% raise starting on July 1st, and it would not be protected in next year's default budget. The change is going to be, instead of a 6% raise for 6 months, they're gonna get a 3% raise for 12 months. And that raise is gonna be protected in the default budget for next year. They're not gonna have to go back if they end up with a default, if we end up with a default budget. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay. Is that correct, Derek? More or less?
That's
Okay.
a good way of explaining it.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Sorry.
So, are we ready to vote? All right, all those in favor of Izzy's motion to reduce the matrix, that last 1.5%, raise your hand. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said your name again, Izzy.
Sorry.
Okay. Opposed is Doug, Rich, Peter, and Richard. And abstentions, Jared. Everybody else was a yes. So did it passed, right? Okay, so that motion did pass. So that's 124. And how much?
45.
485.
485. All right, so that gets us down to narrowing the gap to 400,000 if we wanted to get down to 5%.
And I'll go back to the benefits line again. Over the last 3 years, 2025, 121,000 has already been transferred out of it. 2024, 425,000. 2023, 400,000.
So we already took how much out of the benefits line? 118?
Well, we just moved it from proposed to default. Yes, 118.
Okay. All right. What do you guys want to do? Not you, Adam.
No, I just feel like I'm right in the middle of the street. Should I?
Oh, you can go back, I'm sorry.
It sounded like you were gonna get back to CIP, so I didn't want to go too far.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Danielle, can you give me context to the look that I just saw? If we were to make, okay, so I would personally, I want us to be looking for any place where we can reduce over collection, essentially, right? If it's a place where it's like, well, we're just collecting it and then we're just not using it, great. But are you concerned that we're not in an over collection state on that line?
So, my question to the group was there an amount or just like in general that line? Because the concern is we had a rate increase of almost 4%. It varied by product, so one was 3.8, one was 4.2. So it varied by product, but about 4% on average. And then we cut that increase out to keep it at default. This is the first year, so yes, historically speaking, Izzy's correct, there's been years with gaps. However, this is the first year the town has been full with no vacancies. Do we anticipate that that will remain the entire year and no one will ever leave? No, there's probably going to be some sort of turnover, so there may be a gap for a couple weeks here or there, but I'm not anticipating the 7 or 8 to 10 vacancies that we've had that were lasting 3 months at a time or more, or the vacancy like we had that was just cut for the building inspector. So between the increased rates, the lack of vacancies anticipated, and the fact that we know we have at least 6 people switching to family plans, it's definitely a smaller gap. And we create the budget based on what people have elected now, currently. So if somebody's taking an opt-out, that may cost us less than if somebody takes even a single plan or a family plan. And they can change that at any time. We don't put anything in the budget for anticipating them changing. We put in what they've elected. So where we've already cut it down to the default, maybe, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, maybe there's a little bit of room, like 100,000, but there's not 400,000 or 200,000 or, you know, and I don't have the
Danielle,
crystal ball.
I really appreciate you. I'm going to motion to cut that by 100,000.
I was gonna say, if I was to make a motion, it would have been for 100,000.
But I don't want to steal your motion.
So I hear a motion in a second. I'm not charity.
Sorry, yes.
I'll make a motion
Sorry.
to
Thank you, by the way.
line 43110 benefits by $100,000.
Peter seconds? Okay. Do you guys want to say anything else to your motion?
There's wiggle room.
All right, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of making this adjustment, raise your hand. Any opposed? Richard? And abstentions? Jared. All right. Now I lost my pen.
It's in front of your binder.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So we are only 300,000 away from having a 5% budget. What about moving the dump truck to a warrant article and maybe using unreserved fund balance?
Question, you said we're 100,000 away from your budget?
300,000.
We're 300,000 away from your, but we just reduced by 100,000. You wrote 300,000?
Oh, well, that's because my brain was moving ahead. Thank you.
Sorry, I was confused.
Well,
100,000. Joe?
I like what you're thinking about the dump truck, but I think that we should just cut it.
I don't want to cut any more DPW vehicles.
We have
multiple dump trucks. Like we
We
have
cut
2 on the line
everything
and 2 in
last year.
reserve.
We
I
cut
understand,
every
but-
single vehicle last year. Jared?
Just as a statement for what was said, I mean, if it's going to be cut, we are asking the select board to potentially put as an individual warrant article. The select board could always do that on their own if it was cut, just like anything else as an individual warrant article. I'm not condoning that we do that, but I just want to make sure it can be done that way. If it is important, and I think it is important for the select board and the community to have that.
Okay. Does somebody want to make a motion?
To cut it?
Well, either way, we have to cut it.
Yeah, I make a motion to cut the dump truck.
Well, wait, what?
Well, we can't make a motion to tell the select board to put it on a warrant article.
Gotcha.
All we can do is cut it.
How much is it?
It's 150,000.
I thought it was more than that.
No, I think it's 150,000.
Yeah.
150.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Peter?
I wanted to get a sense, do we have numbers on what these represent in tax dollars from the median household? Like, what does $100,000 represent to the median household approximately?
So $100,000 is roughly about 4 cents on the tax rate. So times a 400, I don't remember what the exact number was this year. I think we're up to like 420,000 for a median. That is like $160
For the year?
for the year. Huh? 416, okay, so 416 is a median, single-family resident.
$15.
It's 15, not, no, $15.02. Not,
Sorry, just to be clear.
I was off by an order of magnitude.
You were, okay, so it's fine.
For that 100,000.
Yeah.
For that 100,000.
So for every 100,000.
Yeah.
I don't want to just beat a dead horse here, but I just really think that if we're talking about things that we know we need to spend money on, and we, like, unless I'm wrong, unless I'm just missing, maybe because Joe had mentioned it, like, oh, well, we have dump trucks, whatever, but like, I just don't want us to get to the point where we're starting to creep down that road where we're just deferring our costs to future taxpayers. That's what we do when we push off things that we should be paying for now, is we're basically forcing future people to have to pay for it, and they have to pay more. And I don't think that's responsible. But again, I could be missing something.
Joe?
Madam Chair, it sounds to me like someone should make a motion to send this to public hearing and see if it passes, because if it passes at 6.9%, then it is what it is. But if it doesn't pass, then we really have to start doing some serious cutting.
What do you mean by pass at public hearing?
Make a motion to send it to public hearing at 6.9%.
Well, it doesn't pass or,
Yeah, I know,
yeah, but that's not how it works in
What
public hearing.
do you mean by pass at public hearing?
Make a motion to send it. I said if that motion passes tonight,
Oh, okay,
that's what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
But then the thing is, public hearing is notoriously underattended. And is it really a good gauge of what the public thinks? I mean, the thing is, to me, and I've said this before, the greatest risk is to have default. And better to have a smaller increase or a bigger increase, I mean, better to have a bigger increase than default. Anything's better than that. So if we end up cutting this a little narrower than we have to, we're still better off than if we lose the whole caboodle and we end up with default. So I appreciate what you're saying, Peter, but the thing is, it's like, are people really gonna listen?
I don't know.
And in the end, it all comes down to what do we think we can convince people to vote for? I mean, anybody who's watched our meetings this year, I hope realizes what extraordinary lengths this committee's gone to. We've done, I think this committee has done more hard work than any other budget committee I've ever been on. And I've done this for, 9, 10 years. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know if people are gonna pay attention to that. but I just don't want us to have default. I just think that's so bad for the town in so many ways. Danielle, did you have something you were trying to chime in on?
I just wanted to remind the committee, in case it's helpful, that Adam had provided a list of priorities back during his presentation, and the order of preferred to cut would be culverts, then the roll-off truck and trailer, which was, it was 200 for culverts, 285 for the roll-off truck and trailer, then the dump truck. So if that matters in the priority scheme.
That's true. That's true. So, which again, I mean, the only reason I mentioned the dump truck is because it's at 150, we could cover it with unreserved fund balance. But if we wanted, if the select board wanted to, but instead, we could go back and look at one of these other priorities. I just don't know where else it's gonna come from, and I don't think 6.9 is gonna pass, I really don't. But I'm just one vote. If the committee feels differently, then we can move it to public hearing.
Question, is it 6.9 now, or is that 6.9 before the last two cuts?
I think we're at 5.4% now.
Are we at 5.4%? Derek, can you confirm that for me?
If I'm not mistaken.
What's the question?
What percentage are we at now?
I have that you're at 6.1%.
So calculate wrong.
So, I mean, if it were me, I would take the 200 out of the culvert program and I would leave the road plan more or less intact at 1.6%, and that would get us down into the 500, or I mean the 5% range. But I don't know how the committee feels about that. We'll still get, I mean, if we get any feedback at public hearing, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, we can take our cue from that. We can lower or raise according to what we hear. Brian?
I'll just chime in. I think everyone knows where I sit. Even at 5%, and I'm not clairvoyant, I don't know what the public's gonna go for, but even at 5%, I don't see it passing. So to me, I'm still wrestling, and I don't see a path to get to like a 3.3%, which is in line with CPI. So I'm really wrestling with this because, I'll stop there. I really appreciate, to your comment earlier, I really appreciate everyone's hard work in going through this exercise, but I don't see a path getting to a point where people are understanding the budget, they're gonna get behind the budget, and something that I can sell to the community. I think 5% it's gonna go over like a lead balloon. So that's just my 2 cents.
Richard?
Yeah, I think if we're struggling to find a path to get to 3.3%, then we all need to kind of be shouting that from the rooftops, that we had that number in mind and couldn't get there because it costs more than that. Yes, it's CPI, but there are other factors that a government has to think about. We are subject to certain regulations that people in their own households are not subject to. I really think, I don't know, I've never really liked the word arbitrary because I don't feel like it's arbitrary to set a target, but at a certain point, reducing taxes too far reduces services to a point that money starts coming out of people's pockets. And individually paying for certain things is not as efficient as getting them at scale.
Olivia?
Another thing I'm concerned about is if, I do wish there was an easy way to lower this, let me say that, but I think also a risk we run by cutting too much is risking the quality of our employees and department heads as well. Where if they don't have the trucks, if they don't have the materials and the support of the town to do kind of bare minimum at the job, how long are they going to stay here? and I know it's a super delicate balance. You know, everybody is struggling this year, and I'm sure everybody will be struggling next year as well. It's a hard path that we're on right now, and I think, to Richard and Peter's point, that we really need to be sharing that part of the dialogue too with the people we know and the people we live near, how hard it is to bring this budget lower than what it's at.
All right, so where are we landing? Do we want to move forward? We can take this budget public hearing, we can keep working on it. Doug?
Madam Chair, thank you. Just a comment, Derek, I don't know, cross-check your numbers, because I calculated 3 times that we're at 5.4% based on a 26,724,703 default.
We're comparing against 26, not the default.
Oh, 26, all right, thank you. I'm comparing against the default, that's why.
I'm sorry, the 25. not the
25,
default.
yeah, sorry.
The
Okay,
25.
gotcha. All right, that makes more sense. Thank you.
Laura?
I think we need to keep working. I think that's like the public's gonna think it's like a laughable budget to bring forward at this point in any manner.
Where does the rest of the committee feel? All right, so Peter?
What's the, like, what else do we have on the table for bigger cuts that we have? Could I just get a roll call of that? Things that we've discussed.
The culvert was 200,000, the road
Roll off.
plan was how much?
I said 200,000.
And then the roll-off was 285. And we talked about moving the dump truck for 150, but there didn't seem to be a lot of appetite for that.
So it's the 200, either 200 on the culvert, 200 on the road plan.
Or 285 on the roll-off.
285.
Is there anything else we discussed that's not DPW, that was major, that anyone brought up?
No.
No, I don't think there was anything else.
So the next thing on the list was the culvert,
Yeah.
but that still is not gonna get us anywhere near what people think is manageable.
It would get us to the 5%, we'd be 5 point something. I'm gonna guess 5.8, 5.7, somewhere around there, maybe.
Whether we think that we'll get the support from the community, I mean, I'm gonna go and fight for that budget if we sent it out. Are we all gonna fight for it?
Yeah, I will. But, I mean,
Which budget?
yeah, the committee's gonna be split. I think it's gonna be a split vote. I don't see any way around that this year. And it is what it is. I mean, but the thing is, everybody's gonna vote their conscience. I don't think any of us can say, oh, that budget's full of fluff. I mean, if it's full of fluff and you're still sitting at this table, then you should be making motions. But, you know, we've done the best we can, and I think it's gonna be a split vote.
I want to know, though, the rationale behind not fighting for a budget, but also not really proposing a path to get to a budget that you will fight for.
Well,
I'm just not,
hold on.
I just don't understand.
I'm not even getting into that.
Yeah, I mean, I've made multiple motions that we have tabled, so I'm happy to list off all my motions I'd like to make. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
How many motions has the
That's
select
between
board
you and the
I mean,
committee.
how many of the motions have, yeah, right. What's the select board done?
Okay, let's not do that.
I mean, we have contributed to this effort. And I personally have voted for cuts without the select board's approval. So I don't really know what the point of that question is.
So
I think it might be uncomfortable to hear this, but you have a target in mind and there's really no pathway to get there, but we're still not admitting that this is where the town as a whole needs to be.
All right, well, I'm gonna make a motion to cut the packer, the trash, the dump truck.
That was cut earlier this evening.
What, the 150,000? What was you talking
Yes.
about?
You said the Packer.
I'm
That was
sorry,
cut
dump
earlier.
truck.
That was
dump
430.
truck.
That was cut.
That was 150,000.
All right, so you want to cut the dump truck?
That's my motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay,
Now let's vote.
any further discussion?
That's lower down on the priority list.
That was towards the top of his priorities. That was third on his priority list.
And so we have other things of larger value that we could cut before we cut that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, the question would be, I would only agree with that if I thought the select board was going to fund it out of the unreserved fund balance. If not, then I would take something else lower on that list.
To be fair, that's my first motion. I'm going to make a number of motions, and they're probably not all going to pass. But I
Well,
need to
wait.
make a statement that there is a path to get to where we want, but the committee is not willing to do it, which is fine. But we need to at least vote on this, right? And say, like, there is a path to get to 3%. There is a path to get to 2.5.
2.5, is anybody talking about 2.5?
I'm probably not voting for anything over 3.
Okay. Okay,
Is it okay if I ask for, I just kind of want the list?
well, we have a motion on the floor and it's been seconded, so we have to vote on that. And then if you want to do the list after that, you can ask that. Any further discussion? I don't know, for me, like I said, I at this point, I would go, I'd probably vote against this because I would choose the culvert instead. But, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, raise your hand. There's 4. That is Izzy, Joe, Brian, and Doug. Opposed, raise your hand. That's all of us except for Jared, and I assume you're an abstention.
You assumed correctly.
Okay. So that did not pass. Laura?
So what is lower on the DPW list that is a higher price tag?
Well, the culvert is 200,000. The roll-off tractor trailer is 285. Those two things are lower than the dump truck was.
Why don't we attack the roll-off?
We could, except I don't think we have enough money in the unreserved fund balance to cover that.
Oh, because we're counting on that.
Well, I'm not counting on it, I'm hoping, but I was hoping.
Okay, so I make a motion to cut the critical culvert project out of the budget, 200,000.
I'll second.
Okay, Laura seconds. Okay, any further discussion? Jared?
I won't be voting for this, because I know that when culverts fail, it takes a lot more than just the culvert. It takes the road, it takes the siding, it takes a lot of things. So this isn't something that can be backburnered, or should I say replaced. There's not an alternative. You either fix the culvert or you don't, and this is a preventative maintenance. This is one of those items where I will be voting no, specifically on the culvert.
Any other discussion? Richard?
Yeah, I just want to echo what Jared says, or what Jared said. It really, critical culvert is the perfect name for it, because this is critical infrastructure. If it goes, God forbid if it goes while someone's driving over it, that's a big problem.
Laura?
So how is it lower on the priority list then?
It's not my priority
Oh.
list.
Elizabeth?
I know, I scared away Adam, and then, Laura, do you want to answer?
Yeah,
Laura wants to
sorry.
answer that question.
While we're waiting, if I could, I mean, I've seen culverts fail going up north. You know, they usually happening at the end of winter or when the snow melt happens, and it's a crap show from March to May, and it ruins the road for the entire year or beyond. So that's why I'm very passionate about this. I've seen it happen in the North Country, and I'd hate to have that done here in Goffstown, especially if there's residents on that road.
So we're in the nitty gritty. The reason that landed lower on my priority list is because it's a new program. I think it's kind of pick your poison. Do you want death by 1,000 paper cuts of roads deteriorating kind of across town, or the, as Jared mentioned, the immediate loss of a culvert that could be well over $200,000 if you have to replace it in emergency? There are, I'll pull a Rick, kind of offer something up here.
What?
So, you know, kind of a forecast, let's say we had a major storm, flooding event in the spring, we lost a culvert. What would probably happen if this is gone is the select board would say, well, timeout on X, Y, and Z from the road plan because we have to divert funds to replace that culvert or close the road, I guess. You know, if you have a culvert fail in December, you're into the next budget. It's like, it's a tough thing. There's the reason it's lower is because there's a higher likelihood that we can figure out a way to put off other projects if we had an emergency failure. The problem is the potential upside of that cost is pretty high, so I don't know. There's a reason I propose it in CIP, but that's the reason it's lowest on the priority list left, is that it's a new program, so.
No, thank you.
Any other discussion on this before we vote? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Sorry, I did have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Peter.
So if we cut it in terms of work plans for the upcoming year, how does that impact it? I think I've missed that this entire time.
So, bottom line budget, et cetera, the select board could decide they feel differently. My proposal would be normally try to adhere to the budget committee's thought process with certain lines when they make big cuts. So I would come to the select board with a project list for the year that would be road heavy, very light on major culvert repair projects, short of a disaster or something's lost. And if the cut was on the road side, we would come in with those bigger culvert projects and less road work. So I would try to adhere to the desires of the budget committee with my proposals, but the select board could feel differently if, you know, they want to move that money back into culverts.
Okay, we ready to vote? All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay. Get us all, Allison? So, Izzy, Joe, Laura, Mark, Brian, Doug, me, you, and Peter. Opposed? Olivia, Jared, Richard, and Rich. And no abstentions, right?
Oh.
Okay. So it passed, right? Yeah. All right, so that's 200,000. So we are very close, I think. Derek, can you give me a percentage?
5.35.
5.35, okay. So, are there any other motions?
Richard, Rich, me, and Jared. No, two Richards.
Yes. I have a motion to cut the roll-off truck.
Peter, do you want to provide your whole list, Joe, or do you want to just go one at a time?
I can go one at a time. The next is the road plan.
Okay.
So there's the roll-off truck, which is the 285, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
And then the road plan, I'm gonna go to 1.2.
How much of a cut is that? I'm sorry. not
400.
Huh?
400,000.
So not 200, you'd be looking to cut 400
Yeah,
from the
we
road
gotta get
plan.
down.
Okay, so you have a motion to cut the roll-off truck. Is there a second? Brian? You want to speak?
No, I just seconded to have conversation.
Okay.
No, I think this is, we have to determine whether the will of the budget committee is to get down to 3% or not. And if it's not, then somebody should send it to public hearing. Because I'm not going to, but somebody else can.
Right. Okay, other comments? Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Joe, in that we need to figure out where we're all gonna land. And this is where the rubber hits the road, right? Everybody's gotta decide where their, I'm sorry, I'm using all these cliches, where their line in the sand is. And we also, the gauntlet got laid down about finding the path, and so now you're showing that the path is there.
There's a path.
I don't like the path, personally, and I don't think I'm willing to do it. But, yeah. 5.3%, I wish it were lower, but I also feel like that is like, I just don't see anything else to cut, honestly. And I think the roll-off truck, I think it's I think it's too important, and we cut all those vehicles last year. I think it's a mistake to cut this, in my opinion. Olivia?
I'm at my limit. I'm not voting to cut anymore at this point.
Other comments? Richard?
Year after, I've been on the budget committee for a while too. Year after year, we target DPW, and it's not, we keep getting further and further behind. It's not fair to DPW, it's not fair to our residents who rely on that infrastructure. It's not right.
Izzy?
Question, in the last 3 years, how much money has been transferred into the reclamation line?
I don't have that number available at the moment.
1.8 million.
Per year or
No,
total? For 3 years, you said?
For 3 years.
Okay.
Which highlights
How much have we
why
cut
I
in
would
each of those
request an
years?
increase. It's more expensive. We're getting less done every single year.
Okay. Any other comments before we vote? All those in favor of removing the roll-off truck, raise your hand. So that is Izzy, Joe, Brian, Doug, and Allison. All those opposed? So it's Olivia, Laura, Mark, me, Richard, Peter, and
No
Rich.
roll-off trucks up north, Jared?
And any abstentions? Jared. I didn't like it. So, that was almost split. What was it? 5 to 7. So that motion failed.
My next motion is to reduce the road plan from 1.6 to 1.2.
Do I have a second? Brian?
second.
Okay. Any more discussion? Okay. Who was the second? Brian was the second. I know this is painful, but personally, I also think it's beneficial because we are showing the residents this is what it takes. You can have this number, this is what you're going to give up to get it. So I think that's a fair, and then they can make their decision, right? That's what we want them to be, is informed to make their own decision. So, okay. Any other comments? All right, all those in favor, raise your hands. That is Izzy, Joe, Mark, Brian, and Doug. Any opposed? Raise your hands. So Olivia, Laura, me, you, Richard, Peter, and Rich. So Olivia, Laura, me, you, Richard, Peter, and Rich. So that, I think, has failed. Oh, sorry, abstention, sorry. Okay.
All right, if I could, I think somebody else should make a motion.
Okay. Are there any other changes we want to make to this budget, or are we prepared to send this to public hearing? If so, then I need either a motion for a change or a motion to send to public hearing.
I'll make a motion to send the budget as we've currently amended it to public hearing.
Second. Olivia seconds. Do you want to speak to your motions? Have we said everything that can possibly be said?
I think we have.
All right, so no further discussion. Ready to vote? All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay, so that is Izzy, Olivia, Laura, Mark, Doug, Jared, me, you, Richard, Peter, and Rich. Opposed? Joe and Brian. No abstentions. That passed. Okay, so that's the number we're taking to public hearing. So this is, wow, we did it, you guys. I know it's late, but we don't have to come back on Thursday. That's the good news. Everybody can take a break. Our next meeting is January 6th. We're going to do all warrant articles and contracts.
Always get stuck.
And we're going to wrap up the water precinct. Yes, the water precinct. So, January 6th is our next meeting, and then we have public hearing on January 15th.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Mark seconds, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're done. Have a good holidays, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.